XRP a good buy now? I mean, maybe if you believe that this is an inverted head and shoulders and that we're going to 280 to $3, I would say 230 is a nice entry point, or even where it's at now, 235-ish. If you believe in that, or if you believe that it's a regular head and shoulders forming here on the lower time frame, with this indication, then I would say your entry point would be somewhere around 210-ish. But we have the magnet here. The magnet is pulling down. Everything wants to stay between this channel. This is a very strong channel. It's gone all the way back to January 16th. Until now, it's been 6 months in this channel. In what time frame? This is the 1 day. So the 1 day is showing, I think this is a bit wonky for a head and shoulders, and it may have technically already played out. I would say probably not played out yet. It could rally again, and I'd say like 275-ish to 280. And that would be an indication of hitting that head and shoulders to completion, or even as high as $3. But I think it wants to stay in this channel. I think this is more or less the bull trap. And you could adjust this here and say that this is a broadening wedge. This is more bullish though. A broadening wedge is more bullish, and I would say it's due for a breakout in the upward direction. But also look at this line right here and this line right here from the head and shoulders. That would indicate a rising wedge, which is also bearish, which would mean that it would drop out from there and move back down to about 220 or lower. So there's a lot going on with XRP. Is this Asia market? No, this is XRP. Or is that because the bat? Are you referring to COVID? XRP, Batman Project, Trump has Batman. Yes, actually, I'm Batman. I drive a Batmobile and I go out and I rescue people at night. That's actually a true story. I am a volunteer with the fire department and search and rescue, and we do off-road recovery where like fire engines and things can't get into, because we're a group on Facebook where we it's a Good Samaritan group where we go out and rescue people. There's been many times that I've risked my own life to rescue people. There was a mother and daughter were trapped in rushing flood in Lytle Creek, and I had my monster truck back then, and we were able to go out, and I had to jump. I was harnessed up to the truck. I had to go and jump onto the other car, pull the people out of the windows, and get them into my truck and get them to safety, because if it had not been for me, they would have drowned. They put out a bulletin on the group, and we were able to get there an hour before the fire department and rescue them. I actually have videos of it, I believe, on my TikTok. You should be able to see it. So that's something that we do out here. I try to give back to the community as often as I can. I like to use Stotch RSI along with weekly timeframes to see if we have enough data points. I do use them. I prefer that if I am going to use indicators, I like the EMAs. And look we have a golden cross on the EMAs. So I believe this is the 50 and the 200 have crossed over into a golden cross, but it may just come back down and cross back over. And that would be a very bearish indication that it's going to drop down to this is the 200 EMA. So the 50 and the 100, excuse me. So that being said, $2 if this crosses down under. But I don't like to use these as much. They can be misleading, but RSI, you know, when I am trading from my bed and I'm not using TradingView, I use all these indicators from sometimes. I have them on, but I'm not really paying attention to them as much, but I am looking at them. But I get the most accurate predictions from staying away from all of that. My style of trading is different than anyone you're going to see on here, that's for sure. And that's why we've been so accurate. Candlestick trading. Why ME on your chart? You talking about this guy right here? Is that you? Any buy signals? Let me see here. I have one that has buy signals on it. I don't like to use it. I think it's RSI. Nothing yet. I'm surprised it hasn't given a bear signal, to be honest with you. I think it's just indecisive right now. But according to this RSI, this head and shoulders has already played out. But according to the chart, it's the opposite. The purple one too? What do you mean the purple one? The purple one foo. Simon says, you keep your style. I appreciate that. And I think that it makes for good content because no one else is doing this. I'm trying to be a bit original too. What is RSI? Relative Strength Index. This is your RSI divergence indicator. As Mega Crypto would say, this is like gas in your tank. Okay, it needs to be close here in the middle or down low for it to have enough gas to work its way up to the top. And right now it's in the middle, which would indicate that it's got some gas to move back up. As you know me in this show, I will always give credit where credit is due. So if you coin something or say something, I'm going to give you the credit for it. What basic things do I need to know if I'm getting into crypto as a beginner? Sore Stroker. That's a hilarious name, but I would say become a deluxe subscriber and you can get one-on-one coaching with me and I can help you. So you can message me directly and we can talk and go over it, and I can help set you up with a wonderful strategy. And I'll tell you what, anybody that's a deluxe subscriber in the chat, chime in right now and tell me, has the daily price point videos or the coaching or anything been helpful to you, and has your trading style grown? Obviously, I would say our best people who have grown from that have moved over to Twitch. And so you probably won't see that. Sydney says yes. How do we message you directly? So from TikTok, you just go click on my profile and send me a message. Only unprofitable traders sell courses. I don't sell a course. I offer coaching. So you can ask me questions. We can talk. We can just chat about your fishing trip or whatever. 100% email system is legit. Yeah. You can also set up the email alert system, and when you sign up for that, you get an email alert every time I post something, so that way you never miss a trade. Can we talk live? What do you mean, can you talk live? You want to come on as a guest? I love deep sea fishing. Oh, me too, especially in Avalon and Cat Harbor out of Catalina. Some of my favorite spots. I've caught some nice yellowtail out there. Sydney says, can we talk live? When I'm doing the live, you can't message me directly, but when you message me, I will usually get back to you either right away or within an hour or two. Do prop firms allow crypto trading? I mean, some of them do, like Public, Robinhood, but they own the keys. Why is BTC ending with 104K? You trying to say like 401K? Only see this guy on my For You page when XRP is going down. That's funny because when it's going up, we say it's going up. Who here caught the moon cycle? This crazy pump from here to here. We called it, and I told you how far it was going to go and where it was going to stop and when it was going to turn back around and go back down. Gideon Marie says, me, Cod, Haddock, and nice. My friend actually owns a fishing charter, and I met the guy, Captain Jack Sparrow. He does a Pirates of the Caribbean fishing tour cruise to Catalina from Long Beach, and he's got like a pirate ship, and he invented the clip-in hair extensions. And his boat is parked right next to my buddy's boat, and we've hung out many times. And he actually helped me start my first business. I did a pirate in Mexico. Like, you did a pirate or you did a pirate cruise in Mexico? Because those are two different things. A pirate show. Oh, I thought you were getting some pirate booty. No, no edging, not ending with 104K and not going up. I would say, first of all, if you want to go over Bitcoin, become a subscriber or come over to Twitch, and it's for free. All you got to do is put Bitcoin in the chat on the Twitch side, and I will pull that up for you and do my technical analysis. Sydney, thank you for the rose, and Sydney, thank you for the dolphin. I need some swans though. I need 4 swans if you can help me out. Modine, come on over to Twitch. We are leaving TikTok and we will be exclusively on Twitch soon. So by coming over and setting that up and joining, you can get access to that information for free. XRP is basically the only free one on TikTok. So I would love to answer that question because I do have some insight to that. However, we are trying to facilitate the growth of our Twitch account. It's Sore Stroker. What's up, dude? Thank you for coming over to the Twitch side. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Don't forget, we are live on Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat on Twitch, all lower cases, no spaces, and you can find the show. And you're going to have a much better viewing experience there. It's just altogether better. Good morning, Oz. Where is XRP headed today? Who pulled the rug? I'd say that Ripple is pulling the rug. They're moving the money out of escrow into private wallets and slowly releasing it. I would say anywhere from 230-ish, 233 to 230. Maybe it's bottomed out right here, and it could potentially pump from there to 243 or 247, and then head and shoulders and break down to as low as 208 or 220. By XRP, I don't know. I'd say it's at a crossroads. I would say that we are probably headed into a nasty drop. If you look in the previous cycle, so X marks the spot, first of all. Okay, see this X right here? That would indicate this head and shoulders drop down to lower levels, and that is on May 20th. Okay, and if you look at previous cycles, so let's look at the previous cycle here. Look at this big red candle. This is on May 19th. And we dropped all the way down until July 20th, and then we started to turn back up and pumped from there. So if it works like this, I would say we drop down to as low as $1-ish to like 120-ish to like 75 cents-ish, and then back up to 250 to 280 at the most. So what happened to FTX? I remember that was a big thing a few years back. Basically the dude ran the company bankrupt, I think. Let me get a fact check on that. Let me alert the fact checkers. Can I get a fact check on what happened with FTX exactly? I believe this was in 2017 or 2020. Yeah, I'd say sell or take some profits. You know, if you've been watching this show, you would have known to take profits at about 260, 265, and as it goes up. So if you haven't taken profits yet, definitely I would have been taking it all the way along up here. But yes, but as you know, back in early January, and you can see the videos on my profile, I said that we would drop to 163, and then we would turn around from there and start to move upward and break out of this descending channel here. And we dropped all the way down here to 162, 161, and I said about 160-ish, but we added a couple cents just to make sure that it would hit. And then I said probably somewhere between $2.60 to $3 would be the top. So it just depends, but I would definitely be taking profits. Be taking profits. The less greedier you are, the more the universe will reward you. This is a decline, a bull trap. I agree. I believe that this right here is the bull trap in the crypto cycle. I think that's where we're at now. Let me see. Where is it? Let me see here. Let me search this real quick. There we go. So I think we were in denial. And we are probably at bull trap right now, and you should start being fearful. That's why we have the boo and the bat and the ghost thing going on. and we'll probably head into capitulation from there, into despair, and return to the mean before we start another one of these all over again from July to November, December, and it will be less substantial than the previous cycle we've had. What does that mean? It's going down from here. This magnet is strongly pulling XRP back into this descending channel. And that would mean that we could potentially drop, I would say, I mean, I would even extend this now. I'd say somewhere around the $1 to 120 range-ish is very possible. I think that's a little much though. I think 130 to 155, somewhere in there. I need more data before I can rule in where I think it's actually going to land and give you that price point. But as, you know, things play out, I'll be able to tell you. But let me tell you, if this is an inverted head and shoulders, this could very well, let me get rid of all this, and so you can see it a little better. This could very well be a head and shoulders forming right now, and that would bring us way back down. This would be like this. And that would bring us back down to the 160 range, 150-ish. That is possible as well. I know that looks kind of wonky, but there's a possibility that that is head and shoulders as well. Retest, inverted head and shoulders, maybe even. I think you're right. This could be an inverted head and shoulders, and we retest at 230 and then pump from there to 280 and maybe beyond. That is a possibility, and that is on the table. And let me tell you, we have had from 160-ish all the way to 260-ish. That's a whole dollar movement that we've had without a price correction. We're due for a price correction back to $2, or at least 220-ish or something like that. You know what I mean? So, there is a possibility that we drop like this and then pump up one more time, and that would bring us to about 280. But this ascending channel, if it does pump up one more time, it would probably break out downward from there, and that would send it down to minimum $2. I would say probably more like 180. 225, then we rip. Looks like Wyckoff to me at the last point. Yeah, and a lot of people have been saying that. However, XRP likes to not follow the rules. Do you believe market is bullish or bearish on the 3-month? I would say on the 3-month, we're bearish. However, this is kind of a spinning top, which means indecision. It could go any direction. This looks bearish to me on the 3-month, personally. Wyckoff is better for traditional finance, but can play out with crypto. I've seen it. I've seen it play out too. However, I have my own style of trading. I do go off of Wyckoff and Elliott wave theory, but I tend to, and I don't use indicators, and I don't use those methods usually. I do sometimes. But mainly, if you've been watching the show for a long time, you know how I do it and why we're so accurate. My accuracy comes because I trade based off of trends and candlesticks. I'm looking for patterns. XCN, yeah, if you want me to look at XCN, no problem. All you got to do is become a subscriber or come on over to Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat on Twitch, and you can put it in the chat and I'll do it for free. No pumping this weekend? It's definitely possible. You talk to the crypto gods. You're funny, man. Still waiting on that fact check, so please bear with me. I big liquid. Still waiting on the fact check. As I told you, the fact checker is not in today, but I did send them a message. They are working remotely, so as soon as they get the message, I will have them look into that. Yeah, I combined a bunch of stuff to have no indicators. It's BS. I agree. And what I've learned is with doing things my way, I've been more accurate. Management for the show was like, hey, like, you need to try to be like this and do these things, and because other people are doing it. And when I started doing that, I became less accurate. And so we started, I was like, you know what, I'm going back to the way I've been doing this, you know, for like 15 years. And this is what I know, and I just do it better. But look at where we're at, 233. This could be where we bounce up from here. Because look at right here, this is a lot of support right here. Going all the way across. However, it could be more on the bottom side of 228-ish. Matt Hodgson says, yeah, I'm the same. I agree. I think too much. First of all, I think these indicators and stuff are something that the big boys use to play against us. And that, you know, I think AI trading bots use to play against us. And what I've noticed is because of AI, pattern trading has become more easy with crypto, whereas it didn't used to be so much. It used to be unchartable, but it's becoming more predictable, I think, because of AI. Yeah, 2 channels could hold that. Mike T says, yeah, man, facts, I agree. Yeah, I'm feeling it too. Hey, Mike T, I appreciate having you in the chat, man. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share with the show with your friends, and become a subscriber to the channel. Because I do post those daily price point videos, and I offer one-on-one coaching where you can message me directly. And I'd love to have you. You bet will do. And remember, if you can't afford it, no big deal. Just hit the like button. But I'd also encourage you, on June 19th is the end of the 90-day pause for TikTok. And TikTok may be going away in the US. So we are on Twitch. So I would encourage you to reach out on Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat on Twitch, and join the show on that side. Lane says, my brother, XRP is not going down. I'm curious as to what makes you say that. Would you like to take a guest spot on the show and tell me what your thoughts are? So I'm going to send you an invite. Let me see here. Where are you, Lane? I'm inviting you. Come on down to the show, Lane, and let's hear your opinion on what's going on here and why you say that. I would love to have your input. And if anybody else would like to join and has something to say about XRP, I'd like to open up the floor right now. This is not something we normally do, but I think once in a while it can be fun. Uh, but Lane had a lot to say until I offered him the floor to speak, and now we have nothing. So I'm waiting on you, Lane. Whenever you'd like to speak. So your mic is on, everything's good. I'm not here to clown on anybody. I'm not here to make anybody feel bad. I'm seriously want to know what your I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I hate TikTok. Can't hear nothing. What is going on? Let me figure this out. This is my first time having somebody live. I don't know why it's not working. Can you on TikTok hear it? I don't know what's going on, why it's not working. I'm gonna have IT look into it. I do apologize. So we'll look into that. We'll do more of that in the future. I'll have IT look at that. He doesn't get in here till later. Actually, he might be here. He's supposed to be here at 5. Sometimes he shows up a little late. I do have that fact check on FTX. So that was for who was that for? Big Liquid. I have your fact check for you. Hopefully you're still watching. 2022, due to a combination of factors, including mismanagement of funds, a lack of liquidity, and significant withdrawals triggered by revelations about the exchange closed ties with Alamad Research, a crypto hedge fund also founded by FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. Amen Research, which had significant exposure to FTX's own token FTT, reportedly used FTX customer funds to fund risky trading strategies that led to a loss of confidence, a surge in withdrawals, and ultimately FTX's bankruptcy. So that's what happened with FTX. If we want to all-time highs, it would leave a lot of people sidelined. Also, America is pulling. Yeah, but I don't see any indication of that happening because what's going to take that is institutional money, and the injunction is still in place. 99K incoming for XRP. You think XRP is going to $99,000? You got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. Oh, BTC? Yeah, I definitely believe that. Agree to disagree. He's talking about BTC. Yeah, I know. My main concern is that the case is not settled, and people were misinformed about that, and the injunction is still in place. I think in order for that to happen, we need regulation, clarity, and legislation, and with that will come the removal of the injunction from XRP, and then we will see big, awesome numbers. But I think until then, it's the only crypto that's not a security. I understand what you're saying, but there is still an injunction in place. And I agree with you. And it's the only crypto that's been through the legal fire, you know, and it's been refined legally. So and that's why we do an XRP show. I think it kind of stands out and shines above the rest. But I think in the meantime, it is going to take a long time for this lawsuit to end. And I believe that they're dragging it out on purpose. It's the biggest FOMO coin ever in my guy. Everybody knows about it. Yeah. I mean, but Shiba Inu was a big FOMO as well. It could be the next BTC. I think I understand what you're saying, and I'm there with you, buddy. I'm there with you, but I'm also here to be the voice of reason that there's no sense in buying the top when we can enter in at lower zones. That's my thing. Yes, I hold, you know, I have my moon bag for XRP. I love XRP, okay, and XLM. Yeah, but XRP is backed by something Shiba ain't. Well, Shiba actually has utility. And one thing I like about Shiba is that obviously I don't do meme coins. If you know me, I'm not a meme coiner. But we are kind of branching out into looking at some of them. I did buy some SXT. I wonder if my order filled yet. Let's see here. I put in a limit order. No, 10 cents didn't hit. But I did buy some at about 12 or 13-ish. So SXT, I think it's onto something. Yeah, but it's utility based on its ecosystem. XRP fixes real world problems. I agree. And it does them very fast and quickly. But there are also other companies that do the same thing. HBAR, for example, Cardano. So they do have some competition. I would say that they are ahead of the game though. And that's why we focus on XRP so much, because I do believe in it. Everything you're saying, I believe, just not right now. But I think a big portion of the problem is that people believe that it's going to be adopted by, you know, the SEC and the government and all these different things. I think globally it'll be more used than it will be in this country. Maybe, and I could be wrong about that. It may be used more, but according to like the speculation of what's going on with XRP, with the SEC, the proposal on the SEC website, there's nothing official about that. That's just some proposal that some random guy wrote and submitted. So there's nothing actually officially from the SEC. There's a lot of hype and speculation behind this. And I think it's going to be a little disappointing of what actually... There's obviously all these things that XRP could do and it could be used for. But I think in the long run, what it's actually used for will be a little lackluster than what people actually get from it. Can you show a video on stream? I sure can. I would love to show you a video. Yeah, you can email that to me. That's, or you can, yeah, send me an email. Send it to Ozthecryptogoat@gmail.com. Brief, short, mid, long-term play in your opinion. What do you mean on XRP? I think there's a possibility that it drops down here to about 230 and either drops way below here down into lower zones around $1.55 to $1, or it pumps up from there and breaks upward on an ascending channel, which is out of what technical analysis would tell us, and it could see $3 again. But if it does break upward from this ascending channel and goes past all-time highs at 340 and like flags right there, I'd say $5 is definitely possible, and maybe even $7 to $10. Okay. But I need to see an indication of that. What's the email? I'll put it in the chat. By the way, if you do, if anyone gets this email and messages it, you will be blocked. This is only for specific use in utilities. It is linked to the email alert system that you can sign up for. But if you start messaging it or sending things to it, you will get blocked, and then you won't be able to be added to the email list. But Layton, go ahead and send me that video, and I'll pull it up for you. I really enjoy our back and forth. I gotta look at the chat on Twitch now. I do apologize. Let me look at the, wow, there's a lot. Okay, let's see here. Guinea Marie says, is it a decline, a bull trap, all of crypto? It's possible. Nothing's confirmed yet. So what does that mean? It's going down from here. I think it's the end of, we're going into summer, which is like crypto winter, and things are going to drop dramatically, I think, in my opinion. When 160, I don't know. I would say June, beginning of July. No pumping this weekend. It's possible. We all learn from, okay, talking and direct communication is the best way. I agree. Well, I own 16,000 SXT. Let's go. I know I bought some. I figured, whatever, you know. Don't be scared. Let it materialize for a while. Exactly. Crazy how cooked it is. Yeah, I agree. Morgan Girl says, thanks for the subscription. That was very kind of you. Morgan Girl, glad to have you. And thank you, Big Baller, for gifting that subscription. Guinea Marie says to Big Baller, thanks for the prep talk. I think I figured out that pre-sale. Did you? I'm glad I didn't buy the pre-sale. I was able to buy it cheaper. I bought it for cheaper than the pre-sale price. Big Baller to Morgan Girl, you're welcome. We need to send more subscriptions to Oz so he can get rocking and rolling on Twitch. I appreciate that. And the more growth we get on Twitch, I would say the more likely that they're going to have me speak at TwitchCon. But they did reach out to me about that. I did see that they have a section for people to submit to that, but they actually personally reached out to me, and I think that's probably because we have the best crypto show on Twitch right now. XRP has been through hell and back. I agree. Maybe in 2030, XRP will go crazy. That's what I'm thinking, 2030. Lane, I'm thinking 2030, baby. Can we look at XLM? Yes, just a minute. Algo is also my favorite. I love Algo. I'm a big fan. Can you get that off Coinbase? Yes, you can get SXT on Coinbase. Sounds like a Brad commercial. When SXT hits 11, I'm buying. I put orders at 12, 11, and 10. All right, got caught up in the chat finally. Wow, we're actually booming on the show today. A lot of engagement. Now I gotta go through TikTok. Let's see here. I'm driving in a storm. I got you in the car. Hey, thank you, TikTok seller. Much appreciated. Be careful driving and stay alive. We need you alive. What's the email? Sorry, sent you the email. I sent it without subject, so it might be somewhere. All right, I'll look for it. Then watch the top left video. All right. It's not going down. I'm kind of weary about opening this link, to be honest with you. Management is telling me not to open it because it could be a scam and take all my crypto. What's your view on BTC next few months? Did he break support and we free fallen? It hasn't broken support yet, but it kind of did, but it could just be wicking into this zone. It could be wicking in, but it could just fall early. And the earlier it falls, the further it's going to go down. Or excuse me, the less far it's going to go down. Lane, I'm sorry for them. How listen to him. Or who listened to him? I'm sure the people who listen to me are not sorry at all. They are making lots of money. I get it. It's a Twitter link. Yeah. To post with 4 videos. How's the market gone today? I haven't checked. It's going down, baby. It's going down hard. You know, I feel bad for all the people that think that XRP is going to $11 million. The people that think that XRP is going to 10K. And what I'm trying to do is wake people up to the reality of what is going on here. And I think we have more opportunities to buy at lower points and grow our bags. I love XRP and I think it could do amazing things, but I'm not here to be blinded and, you know, make smart trades, because I've been accumulating XRP since 2017 and I buy in smart money zones. There's no point in buying the top when you can buy down here. And for the people who think that it'll never go, you know, they said it would never drop below $2 ever again. And that was in January, and I told everyone that it would go to 163, and I called it to the cent, baby, that it would drop to 163 and then it would make a turn back upward from there. And here we are. It happened. I called that 4 months in advance. I'll come back to this video when we hit all-time highs in the next 3 months. Bro, that's literally what I'm saying, is that probably by August we'll see different numbers. If we consolidate sideways, okay, through the next 2 months, we're going to see $5. Okay, but if over the next 2 months we continue to drop to lower zones, we're going to see $2.50 to $3 again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a 50-50 of what it's going to do, but if we stay above $2 for the next 2 months, expect to see, you know, $7. I'm right on board there with you. I understand what you're saying, but everything is indicating a downward movement for right now. And why buy it at $2.31 when you could buy it at $1? Yeah, TikTok seller says he's never watched the show. And I get it. He's new. I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. We love XRP and it will do something. I just think not yet. I think we got 2 months to accumulate again before the next big pump. So why would you buy it at 260 when you could buy it at, you know, 160? Patience pays, yes. Morgan Girl says, what is SXT? SXT is space and time. And what it does is Let me see here. SXT is a native token of space and time, a blockchain infrastructure project that provides a ZK proven, verifiable, decentralized database for smart contracts and AI applications. It enables verified queries on chain and off chain data powered by a ZK core processor called Proof of SQL. SXT serves as the utility coin for staking, facilitating data processing payments, and incentivizing data contributors. Do the charts indicate the market going down? Yes, because this is an ascending channel. An ascending channel would indicate a downward movement. Let me Google it for you. I'll show you. Ascending channel pattern. Images. Look at. When it goes up like this, it drops back down. When it goes up like this, it drops back down. This is possible. It could bull push into and go up and push out, but that's only from a bull push up. We have been dropping downward into it, not pushing up into it. So this is different. So a lot of people think that, oh, if it's an ascending channel like this, it's going to push up. That's only if it was right here. After a bull push like this and we started ascending channel from there, it would bull push up again. But it's been in a bearish move downward into an ascending channel, which would indicate a drop. Why is everything dropping? Normal price correction. Everything gets a price correction. It goes up and then it comes back down. It moves like a wave. XRP is good, but fill your bags with different coins. Exactly. Diversification. I'm pulling out profits and I'm building a business. We built this show. Look what we've done with this show in 6 months. Isn't it incredible? Jacob Andrew says it won't keep paying. What do you mean keep paying? When you guys message, I need you to be more descriptive in what you say, because sometimes I don't get to read them right away in the middle of it happening. So I can't address question or things like that. Going to $1. I'm assuming you mean XRP. That is very possible. And I think after the bull run, we could see 75 cents or even lower, 50 cents. Big Baller says 126 is coming. I'm not touching it, bro. You have me right about everything I'm holding. Yeah. And when I make big predictions like that, look how many months it took. It took from January to April for that to happen, that move downward. I sold some at 255. Wish I sold more. Yep. Oh, well. And that's one thing that I've learned is over the time is I need to be less greedy and take more profits, which I would say is being more greedy. But I've learned from my mistakes is not taking enough profits. He called the drop yesterday. Just watch the show, people. Exactly. I need a good AI coin to load up on. I'll look into it. I have a list here somewhere and it got lost. But I got you, Big Baller. I'm looking into new projects now. You gave me the idea to look. Greed can eat you up in this. Exactly. And TikTok Seller has been doing much better because he's less greedy and he's taking profits now. He's learned so much and I'm so proud of him. He's become quite the trader. He's only 18 years old. Very proud of him. User, if you'd like me to do Ethereum, all you got to do is become a subscriber, or come on over to Twitch and you can put it in the chat and I will do it for free on Twitch. So that's Ozthecryptogoat on Twitch. Come on over, and remember, we will be leaving TikTok, and TikTok may be getting shut down on June 19th. So come on over to Twitch if you don't want to miss the show. That's where we're going to be. The moods ranked us not favorable on credit basis. So the interest will go up and the market will crash. I agree. Do you technical analysis or fundamentals? I do both. I do both. But mostly fundamentals. Do you see us going down from here? I do. It could pump one more time and then go down, but I think probably not. It doesn't line up with the timeline. AI, Microsoft, and IBM involvement, low cap gem for BAIOT. Big baller, that one's for you. Go look at that one and tell me what you think. VAIOT. TikTok seller says 232, laughing my ass off. What did I tell you? 230, baby. And look at, like a textbook. TikTok seller would say textbook. We wicked below here, and look at where we'll probably come up here again. But we're gonna ride this line downward here, I think. But yeah, we went all the way down to 231. What did I tell you? What did I tell you a couple days ago? I said we're going to see 230, and everyone was like, no way, it's never going to happen. Here we are. He literally called it, has a video like 4 videos ago saying 230. Exactly. Calling it every single day. The market goes up and then it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. That's why you're going to see me. One day I'm bullish, one day I'm bearish. The problem is you don't watch the show every day. So you're missing tidbits and you're only getting what you're seeing right now. But I told everyone we were going to pump before this pumped. And I told you what day would be the highest point of the day. I told you Monday, didn't I? I told you that the night of the full moon would be the highest point, and boom, it was. And then I told you it would be downhill from there, and there it was. Kodak says you called it again. It's like the 10th time for me. Thank you. Every single day I do this. Every single day I'm calling the price of what it will be that day to the cent, or sometimes it's a couple days out, you know, but I'm literally calling this every single day. And I would say that my average has gone up. I would say before I was like 80% correct, and everyone was saying I'm like 93% correct. I think I'm up to a solid 95 in my opinion. I think I'm at a solid 95% correct on my price points. We're getting green next week. No, I don't think so. I think we're due for heavy price correction, but it's possible. You know, we get a little bit of green, but I don't think we'll see green like this. I don't think so. But it's too early to tell. But this is a Head and Shoulders, baby. This is a textbook Head and Shoulders. That is textbook. Excuse me, textbook. TikTok seller says he literally called it. He has 4 videos ago saying 230. I'm always too early. That's why when it's going down, I'm like, hey, it's going down. And then before it goes up, I'm like, hey, it's going to go up. Because I'm not going to tell you after the fact, I'm telling you before. And isn't that the point of how this works? Do you want to hear what just happened or what's going to happen? That's the whole point of the show. I'm telling you what's going to happen, and we're right every day. I would say within the cent, within 1 to 3 cents, we're correct. 1 to 3 cents. And I'd say most of the time we're within the fraction of a cent. You have a Discord, how can one join? I don't have a Discord yet, but that is coming. I believe once TikTok is removed in the US on June 19th, that's when we'll start the Discord. I do have IT working on it. All right, let's get into the news. We've got a lot of news to cover, and we've kind of fallen behind schedule here. Bitcoin looks ridiculous as bulls attempt 2 trillion market cap flip, analyst. Let's read it.
Bitcoin looks ridiculous as bulls attempt $2 trillion market cap flip, analyst. Key points. Bitcoin has a fight for both $100,000 and a $2 trillion market cap on its hands this month. Dips below 6 figures are easily possible, analyst Philip says, but the odds are stacked in bulls' favor. ETH/BTC needs to hit the 0.03 inflection point as part of an altcoin comeback. Bitcoin, BTC, is poised for expansion with BTC price action rarely more bullish looking, a popular analyst says. In his latest commentary on X, popular market analyst Philip revealed a key support battle now underway on BTC/USD. Philip on $100,000 battle, this time is no different. Bitcoin has begun to consolidate after making rapid gains this month, with the area just north of $100,000 seeing choppy BTC price moves. For Philip, however, current market behavior is about more than simply reclaiming 6 figures. Bitcoin's market cap is now fighting to flip the $2 trillion mark from resistance back into firm support after losing it at the start of February, data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView confirms. Bitcoin is currently at 2 trill resistance BTW, it's not just 100k, he told X followers. Bitcoin market cap 1-day chart. Source, Cointelegraph/TradingView. The tug of war comes as Bitcoin's dominance of the overall crypto market cap itself begins to fade, leading some to anticipate the re-emergence of altcoins. Giving his thoughts on the largest altcoin, Ether, ETH, versus BTC, Philip said that the trend changes once ETH/BTC reclaims 0.03, a level likewise last seen in early February. ETH/BTC 1-day chart. Source, Cointelegraph/TradingView. Zooming out, however, the implications of Bitcoin definitively leaving $100,000 behind are plain. $1 or $100 is normally a sticking point for most assets due to humans. Do an exercise and look at other assets, they all do similar stuff, Philip continued, referring to the psychological significance of round number price points. Burn the round number after ages of resistance to liquidate shorts, come back to the 80s, then find expansion later. I believe this is no different. BTC/USD found multi-month lows at around $75,000 in April. As Cointelegraph reported, the event was well supported by on-chain reversal signals, with the hash ribbons indicators delivering a rare buy signal shortly beforehand. Honestly ridiculous. Bitcoin meanwhile continues to field bullish price prognoses from longtime traders and analysts, who agree that the current slowdown is a stepping stone on the way to a rematch with all-time highs near $110,000. Related, BTC bulls get biggest signal, 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Targets include $120,000 in the short term, with June in line for $150,000 or more. As for Bitcoin, honestly, ridiculous, the more you zoom out, the more insane it looks, Philip added on the outlook. Short-term pullbacks below 100k are easily possible, however, I haven't seen such a bullish-looking thing in a long time. BTC/USD 3-day chart with indicator data. Source, Philip/X. This article does not contain investment advice or recommendations. Every investment and trading move involves risk, and readers should conduct their own research when making a decision.
All right, Simon says, what time do you start these videos on the daily? It's 4 in the morning here. So I am Pacific Standard Time, and we are live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's Monday through Friday. So don't forget to follow, subscribe to the channel, become a subscriber. And also, if you are on TikTok, I need 4 swans. Help me out. Help me get to my swan goal. That's going to help us out exponentially. Much needed the support. We are being shadow hidden right now. I can't say the B word. Arthur Haynes says Bitcoin price will hit 1 million thanks to falling confidence in U.S. Treasury bonds. What happens when foreign investors had their fill of U.S. Treasury bonds? Bitcoin, $1 million. That's Arthur Hayes' take. And crypto influencers and co-founder BitMEX is bound to draw some nodes of approval. He just called Bitcoin slide to 74,000 and subsequent rebound. In his latest blog post, Hayes agrees that the combination of the U.S. President Donald Trump's economic policies and rising global instability will drive investors away from U.S. government debt, long deemed ago the safest securities on the planet. Bitcoin will pick up the slack. Foreign capital representation and devaluation of the gargantuan stock of U.S. Treasuries will be the 2 catalysts that will power Bitcoin to 1 million sometimes between now and 2028, he wrote. The time is now to make hay while the Sun King takes the shine to Bitcoin. So that's interesting, but that's a long-term goal, obviously. 2030. I think 2030, we're going to see amazing numbers for crypto. But it takes time for this stuff. Sorry, missed your answer, was making a cup of tea. No problem, Simon. Don't forget to follow the channel and like and subscribe. Don't forget, guys, like the channel. We're at 13K. Let's see if we can get to 20K here and up to 50, 75K, which is a normal goal that we usually reach. So start smashing that like button. We are live here Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time. And that's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So do the math there, but Pacific Standard Time, 5 to 9, Monday through Friday. We are here live every day. And don't forget, TikTok may be shut down on the 19th, and we will be on Twitch from then on. So don't forget to come on over to Twitch. If you want me to look at different projects for you, all you got to do is come on over to Twitch and I'll do that for free, or become a subscriber on TikTok. And as a subscriber, you can, with a deluxe subscription, you can message me directly for coaching, and you also get access to my daily price point videos. We are nailing the price every single day to the cent, and sometimes within fractions of a cent. So if you're looking to day trade, that is something you definitely want to have. And you can also sign up for the email alert system so that you get alerted every time I send a message, because TikTok does not alert people in time, and time is money here. So sign up for that as well, and you will be successful. Everyone that I know that is a deluxe subscriber takes advantage of the coaching, is signed up with the email alert system, and is actively watching those daily price point videos, is nailing it. They are nailing it every single day. We have become amazing day traders here, and it's amazing to see all of your growth and where you've come so far. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad that you are all making money. The idea here is to gain generational wealth. Zizix, thank you for sharing the live. Don't forget, you can share this live with your friends. Share it to everybody. Let's spread the word and enrich our whole community and help everybody out. So follow, like, share, but hit that like button. TikTok seller with the 8 roses. Zizix with the heart me. Thank you very much. And don't forget to send me a heart me. You can join the Heart Me group on TikTok. All you got to do is up in the top left corner where you see my little name and the Ozthecryptogoat right there. There's a heart. Click that and send me a Heart Me. That helps the show exponentially. The Heart Me's are the best thing that you can send. So much appreciation. But also, we do need 4 swans. So they're pinned there. Send some swans. We need 4 more. Help me reach that goal. We got an hour and 49 minutes to get 4 more swans. I need your help. Bitcoin shorts will ruin your empire. Don't do it. I have so many people broke from this. I agree. It's not time yet for shorts. I would say once there's legislation and regulation and they start doing investigations, that would be your time to short Bitcoin. Because if they find something going on with Tether and Bitcoin and that comes out to be true, that would be a safe bet. If that is not true and it's just speculation, then I would say that Bitcoin is going to continue and do more. BTC just shouldn't be this high, but it isn't going to fall right now. Yeah, it's going to take time. But eventually it will be a bubble that pops once people realize that it's slow. It's very slow. And actually, let me pull that up. Let me see here. Let me see here. And this is how you can find me on TikTok. Check this out.
Hey, morning. Hey. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
You guys take Bitcoin, right?
Sure do.
I'm gonna be paying with Ethereum if that's okay.
Okay, yep, no problems.
It's a good thing I'm paying with Solana.
Go ahead and tap.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it failed. Try it again. Whoa, hold up there, sport. It looks like it's gonna be another 27 minutes before this transaction clears.
What? Sorry, $112. I have like 3 things.
Ethereum, they got that peak hour gas thing.
Now you got it.
Maybe one more time. What are you gonna do? Just wait right here. Look out the bag. Look out the bag.
I think it's gonna work.
Nope. Should have shot without grand.
How do I get in that line?
Isn't that interesting? Boosted. Algorand is another one I'm big on. And I used to be skeptical, but ever since the crypto summit and the interview with the creator of Algorand, I am bullish on it. I would say that's a long-term 2030 goal, but I think Algorand is going to do amazing things. All right, let's see here. Next article. Ripple News, BRICS planning a gold-backed financial system with XRP, question mark. Now, one thing to take from this, BRICS and I would say like mainly Russia have already been using not XRP, but Bitcoin mostly, but also XRP and Solana and different coins to circumvent tariffs to buy oil. Okay, they've already been doing this for years. The question is will it be XRP? Who knows? It could be, but they've been using Bitcoin to do this. So this has already been happening, but a gold-backed Bitcoin or XRP or something like that because of BRICS, and I would imagine that they create their own stable coin for this at some point. But this is something to look at. I'm just going to read the highlights here. Rumors suggest BRICS nations are exploring a gold-backed system using XRP to challenge the US dollar dominance. The US dollar, SWIFT, and liquidity control currently give West significant financial influence that BRICS seeks to overcome. Russia and China are making moves like gold tokenization and reserve expansion. So that's very interesting. And I think that that's going to happen because they've already been doing this. The question is, are they using XRP? No, they're using Bitcoin to do it, and Solana. I believe there's been some XRP, but that's probably the least amount that they've used. It's mostly Bitcoin. Man, so many ads. Experts say BlackRock clearly wants XRP ETF, but issues a warning to investors. A speculation grows around potential BlackRock XRP ETF filing. Industry experts Vandal Al-Jahara suggests that asset manager clearly wants to enter the market. However, Al-Jahara, who is the co-founder of Black Swan Capitalist, issues a warning to investors about this potential development. He suggested that the anticipated move is less about enhancing crypto adoption and more about profit and control by institutional players. BlackRock wants an XRP ETF, but there's a catch. In a recent post, Al-Jahara stressed that investors should not automatically equate an XRP ETF with broader access to utility-driven crypto adoption. He argued that while the prospect of an ETF might appear to validate XRP in the eyes of Wall Street, it strips the asset of its inherent functionalities. When held in its native form, market participants can use XRP for real-time... Oh, shit, what happened? Real-time remittance, liquidity provisioning, staking, and self-custody. However, an ETF version offers exposure only to price movement without granting access to these core utilities. Nonetheless, he is confident that BlackRock would express interest in an XRP ETF. Al-Jahara furtherly warned that institutions could subtly manipulate ETFs, suggesting that control over the asset changes significantly from individual investors to power financial institutions. So just because an ETF comes out doesn't mean it's going to drive it up. Despite these concerns, the momentum behind XRP ETF filing builds. Since October 2024, a growing number of asset managers has submitted applications to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Firms like Bitwise, Grayscale, WisdomTree, 21 Shares, and ProShares have all entered the race to launch spot and future-based XRP ETFs at press time. Multiple applications are under regulatory review. ProShares has secured approval for 3 future-based XRP ETFs, including an inverse fund offering 2x exposure. Grayscale, a major player in the crypto investment space, currently manages over $16 million in assets for its XRP trust. It has partnered with NYSE Arca to seek listing approval. Meanwhile, MEMX, an US-based exchange, filed proposal to list an XRP ETF similar to those for Bitcoin and Ethereum under commodity-based trust framework. While BlackRock has not yet filed an XRP ETF, market watchers believe it's only a matter of time. The asset management giant has focused on its highly successful Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, which collectively pulled over $43 billion. And I think until the case is dropped with XRP, it's not going to happen. They're not. I don't think they're going to even file until it's done, because BlackRock has more high-end investors, and they're looking for something more secure and steady. They got big players and they don't want things like XRP right now. Need a drink. Whew. Bitcoin Rico. Feds say 265 million crypto theft ring blew 13 million on exotic cars and nightclubs. Federal prosecutors in Washington, D.C. have charged 13 men in what court records described as a wide-ranging conspiracy to identify victims with substantial holdings of cryptocurrency, steal those assets, then launder the proceeds. More than 265 million in crypto was stolen from victims, according to suppressing indictment. One of the defendants, Malone Lamb, was previously charged in connection with the largest of those thefts, which netted about 245 million in crypto from a man in DC. There he is, Malone, a defendant. Look at him. They got him. They got one of them. Yeah, these are the, look at their young kids, man. This dude's life is ruined over nightclubs and expensive cars. That's something kids would do. If they were smart, they would have done something better with that money, and they'd be in a nice high scale prison facility like Wesley Snipes. Sounds like the steal, have fun, then get caught. Yeah. They steal, fun, get caught, and then they throw their life away. What a shame, such a young kid. And you know, they probably get caught up into it, you know, being young, they don't understand the gravity of what they're doing. The kids drink the Kool-Aid. I know. It's a shame. It's a shame to see these young kids doing all of this. And they're literally holding the countries of the world ransom right now. I don't want to get into that too much because we don't want to get hit with guidelines, but yeah, this is sad to see this. Not only the people that lost their money that they worked hard for, but this young man throwing his life away. Man, now you all know that I like Shiba Inu, and I'm trying to branch out into other coins and stuff because I think XRP may be cooked for now until the case is settled, and that could take some time now. So I'm trying to see where else we can make some money. TikTok seller with the heart me and Kodak 59 with the heart me. Thank you very much. And don't forget, we need 4 more swans. We need 4 swans. I just pinned it right there for you guys. We need to get 4 swans. We've got 1 hour and 37 minutes to get those 4 swans. Help me out. Here is when $500 invested in Shiba Inu today can turn into 50K, 100K, or 500K. If Shiba Inu continues its rally, a $500 investment in Shiba today could skyrocket to jaw-dropping gains of 50, 100, 500,000. And I do think it's possible. I'm not going to read all of it, but understand, let's go to the time frame on this. It says that it wouldn't come until 2041. So this may be something, you know, worth throwing, you know, a few $100 in and forget about it, or wait for another bull run where it does something. But as you all know, if you know about me, Shiba Inu made me a great amount of money, but I did not take enough profits because I thought it was a new paradigm and they were going to be adopting crypto and all these amazing things were going to be happening, and it just was too soon. And I was holding out to be a billionaire when I could have been a millionaire from it. But that's why I'm here, and I'm spreading the information that I have because I've learned these things firsthand personally. So I understand the ins and outs of this. I've been trading in crypto since 2017, and I was trading in the stock market for the last 15 years. Why is crypto down today? 3 coins to avoid market downturn: XRP, Doge, and Tron. All right, that's all I'm going to read to you. So this, they say XRP is the first one named. Maybe avoid right now. I'm not the only one saying it.
Hey, morning. Hello.
Let's see here.
Every day, the Fed prints an average of $465 million. That's 26,000 shipping containers a year, created out of thin air. Maybe that's why the dollar loses value over time. But there's one thing they can never print more of: Bitcoin. At the size of a quarter, this is all there will ever be. Shouldn't a store of value hold its value?
Interesting, huh? And don't forget, we're going to be in Vegas. I will be in Vegas on June, what did I say? Is June 2nd, right? June 2nd. We're going to be in Vegas on June 2nd. Don't forget that. And let's watch a funny meme here. This is a meme I created. That's a little bit of fun. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, let's get a look at the charts here before we go into a little bit more news. Look at that. Our candle here, we're right at that line. And I think there's a potential for one more move up. I would say 243 to 247, and that would be perfectly aligned with this head and shoulders forming right here. And it would line up with X marks the spot on the downside, where we would break downward here to the $2-ish zone, and it could just go to like 220, 217. And that would still validate that and could consolidate from there or do something else. But it does line up with the previous cycle. May 20th. May 20th is right on that X. And in the previous cycle here, this is May 19th, this big red candle. Big red candle, May 19th. And it dropped all the way till, May 23rd. Just bought some more XRP today when it dropped to 240. I feel like an idiot. Hey, that's all right. That's all right. However, if you were subscribed on TikTok and you got my daily price point videos, you would have known that it was going to go to 230 and then possibly rebound to 247-ish. So definitely subscribe to that and sign up for the email alert system so that way you get alerted when I post those videos. Those are on TikTok exclusively, but we will be migrating from TikTok to Twitch exclusively. And so we will be setting up a Discord or something that will help us to figure out how to facilitate those same same processes that we're using on TikTok, but on Twitch, because June 19th, TikTok may no longer be going on. Why the bat and moon? Well, there's no moon. This is just a dude that's irritated with XRP. I just thought it was fun. I'm going to get rid of him. Not a moon. The bat is, so we had the ghost for a while. Where's our ghost here? We had our ghost. All right. And I think that we're moving into fear with XRP. And so the ghost is kind of scary. We had a bit of a ghost because this was, you know, looking like a Head and Shoulders. It more or less did like a diamond top thing, but it kind of looks like a bat to me now. So I put the bat instead of the ghost. It's fun. We're having a good time. I actually just found you on TikTok. Well, glad to have you. And let me tell you, those who take advantage of the deluxe subscription on TikTok are doing very well with their training, not just training, but trading as well. I offer one-on-one coaching, so you can message me directly, and I offer daily price point videos, and I also offer an email alert system, because a lot of the times I post those videos, they're at like 1 or 2 in the morning here, Pacific Standard Time. People are sleeping or busy doing things, whatever it is they may be doing. And TikTok doesn't really alert people well. They get those too late and they miss out. So we set up an email alert system that you can sign up for, which is going to alert you every time I post something so that you can get that information. So definitely sign up for the subscription on TikTok. Remember, TikTok is going away and we are moving to Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat on Twitch. However, if you do get a subscription on TikTok and for some reason it goes away, I will be honoring those subscriptions through the end of that month, however it works out, and you'll still get all of that information wherever it may move and migrate to. That will all be honored. So even if you subscribe on TikTok for now, you're still going to get those benefits even if TikTok goes away. So don't be afraid of that, and don't be afraid of us moving to another platform. However it works out, you're going to be taken care of. I will make sure of it, okay? So don't be afraid. All right, some more news. Oh no. The Guardian. We lost it. Okay. Trump says U.S. will unilaterally set off new tariff rates for scores of countries. President says letters revealing rates will be sent out within weeks as Washington lacks capacity for individual deals. Donald Trump has said the U.S. will send letters to some of its trading partners to unilaterally impose new tariff rates, suggesting that Washington lacks the capacity to reach individual trade deals, highlighting the challenge for the White House to negotiate deals with scores of countries at once. Trump said it's not possible to meet the number of people that want to see us. Okay, we're going to have to send out a letter. It's going to be great. I ad-libbed that last part. Speaking at a meeting with business leaders in the United Arab Emirates on the U.S. president's tour of the Gulf, he said, we have at the same time 150 countries that want to make a deal, but you're not going to be able to see that many countries. The president has said that his Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick would be sending letters out, essentially telling some of Washington's trading partners that tariffs rates would be imposed to their goods exports to the U.S. market. At a certain point over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think Scott Howard will be sending letters out essentially telling people it will be very fair, but we'll be telling people that they will be paying to do business with the United States. He said it will not immediately clear whatever the new tariffs would be in addition to what is already in place or higher or lower adjustments. Trump's comments exposed the difficulty of the tasks the president set for his administration after imposing sweeping broader taxes on goods imports from all over the U.S. trading partners on his April 2nd Liberation Day. Washington has withdrawn some of its toughest measures after a backlash in the bonds market, including pausing reciprocal tariffs. Tariff rates on many trading partners include the EU striking a trade deal to lower tariffs with the UK and agreeing a 90-day pause with China. A 10% universal tariff on all imported goods remains. Earlier this week, Trump hailed a total reset in relations between China and the U.S. after the countries agreed the pause, which included Beijing lowering its duties on American goods to 10%, while the U.S. and China goods will be lowered to 30%. The White House has signaled it is prioritizing talks with dozens of U.S.'s largest trading partners, including India, South Korea, and Japan, while negotiating with the EU are ongoing. Look at the EU. The European Union, there is no deal yet. There's no deal with Europe. There's no deal with China. There's no deal with Mexico or Canada. There has not been one deal made, and everyone thinks that there's deals. There's not one deal been made, and everyone thinks the tariffs are over. They're paused. No deals have been made. However, his comments suggest Washington lacks the bandwidth to negotiate with hundreds of countries at once, while indicating that the president will instead push to dedicate terms. The impact of Trump's tariff strategy continues to materialize in the U.S. Executives at Walmart said this week that the U.S. retail company will have to start raising prices later this month due to the high cost of tariffs. The president, meanwhile, has called out American companies that are not shifting manufacturing to the U.S. as a result of his policies. On Thursday, he admonished Apple over the tech company's reports plans to source production of U.S. bond iPhones from India. The UK-US trade deal announced by Trump and Keir Starmer last week prompted China to accuse Britain of aligning with the U.S. in a move that could compel UK companies to exclude Chinese products from their supply chains. The Trump administration has reportedly claimed that countries were tipping over themselves to strike agreements to lower U.S. tariffs on their exports. It has provided a list of these countries, however, and descriptions of its length have varied significantly. More than 75 countries have been in touch, U.S. officials claimed in April, as they sought to explain why the president had backed down the reciprocal rates he had claimed were here to stay. All right, that's interesting. Interesting. But there are no deals. There is no deals with any countries yet. It's not over. Okay, I can't believe how many people were calling me a clown the other day, saying I didn't know what I was talking about, that deals were signed with the UK, they signed a deal with China, all this stuff. People are so low information informed with the news. That's why we have this show, because people They read headlines, they don't listen, they're ill-informed, and that's why I'm here, is to make sure that you guys are well-informed, because it affects your pocketbook. It affects your 401k and retirement. It affects everything. So this is why we need to be well-informed, because the fake news is going to destroy you, and I think that's part of the point. They want people to not get the truth. They want people to be manipulated because they want to impoverish you into indentured servitude. They want you to be the serfs, and they want to be the kings of the land. They want you to live in the pod and eat the bugs, okay? But I'm here to bring you away from that. I'm here to teach you and train you how to become an expert trader and to become wealthy and create generational wealth for your family and generations to come. Yeah, you showed that BBC article saying no agreement with the UK. I know. And even when I show people the information, they don't want to believe it. These people are blind to the truth. And I don't understand why. They have nothing to gain from being blinded. They have everything to gain from knowing what is actually happening and knowing the truth. But they are ostriches. You know what? Is there an ostrich emoji? We need to add an ostrich emoji of an ostrich with its head buried in the sand, because that is what people are. They get scared and they say, you know what? I'll just hold longer. I'll just be holding and I'll be fine. That's not how it works. That's not how you become rich. You don't become rich by buying the top, letting it fall to the bottom, and then holding it until it goes back up to the top again, and then waiting for it to go beyond that. That's not how it works. That's not how you become rich. You get rich by accumulating in smart money zones. And the reason we're doing the day trading and everything is because I'm trying to help you regain your losses and to grow your bags. Why does he keep lying and people believe him? He could literally lie about anything and everyone believes him. That's not just Donald Trump. The left does the same thing. The right does the same thing. There is a cult following on both sides. And as you know me, I am centerline, milk toast, middle of the road, a fence-sitting goat. Okay? I am sitting on the fence here, and I am looking for the middle ground, the common ground, because that is where the truth lies. And that is where coexistence lies. And that is where we can find that happy medium for everyone to exist together. And that's why I have the journalism team. We have right-wing journalists, and we have left-wing journalists, and we have moderate journalists. And the reason we have that is because there is a bifurcation in the country, and there is an echo chamber and bubble that each side is being kept in. And when I was trying to do the news, I was only seeing one side of the news. And so I developed this system so that way we can see both sides, what both sides are seeing, so that you can get a more educated and accurate analysis of what's going on in the world, because the real issue is the bifurcation. The real issue is these echo chambers. We need to break down those walls so that we can find somewhere for us to meet in the middle instead of extreme rights and extreme lefts. We used to be a melting pot and a place where everyone could exist together, and we've just created this environment of, because you disagree with me, I hate you. And that's the problem. We need to normalize not hating each other because we have a difference of opinions, because we're being lied to. And that's why we have been having difference of opinions. It's literally in the Communist Manifesto. It's part of their playbook, is to introduce identity politics into society in order to bifurcate them. Read it. You know what? I'm going to pull it up and we're going to cover that. we're going to cover the Communist Manifesto. These are basic tactics that they have used in the past and will continue to use to gain control of the people and the country and turn it into a police state. They've turned us against one another. When the people rise up and go to march on the castle to rip the king out of his bed because he's starved the people grab their pitchforks and they grab their torches and they march towards the castle. And then the king comes out and he addresses the people and he says, "Everyone, the people with the torches are trying to take away your pitchforks." And they pit you against each other. When we need to come together and fight together. United we stand, divided we fall. We need to come together as a country, as a people, as a nation, as a global people. Human beings come together and unite as one to stop this bifurcation and this ruling class overlords from controlling us. Guinea Marie says we need to normalize people to speak up too. I agree. And that's why I'm here. I am speaking up. I am here to be a voice for the people. Big Baller says, once you have a lot of wealth, both parties want you. Oh, that is very true. We have never been so divided, Guinea Marie says. Yes. And it's time we all came together and stopped fighting over our differences and started finding our similarities. We have lots in common, but they want us to focus on the wrong things. That's how they do this. And don't forget, if you're watching the show, we are supported by your donations. That is the best way to support the show. It goes directly here to the show without any middleman taking from it. Twitch takes about 50% and TikTok takes about 65%, 67% of the income. So we don't make very much off of the platforms. The real way that we are supported is through your donation. So send a donation to the Cash App or Venmo, or you can click the link on Twitch and send it to the PayPal as well. Thank you, all of you who have continued to donate. I am paying a lot out of pocket to do this, but what you guys send in helps offset those costs. But I believe in this channel and I believe in us as a community that we will grow, and I can see the vision for what this will be. So I have invested everything that I can into this, and thank you for your support, because we will grow, and eventually I won't rely on the donations, and will be more based off of earning from these platforms. But for now, because of our size, this is where we're at. So thank you all for your support. Guinea Marie says, revolution is here, freedom is coming. Big Baller says, well said, I agree. This is the revolution. With this show, we are fighting on the front lines of freedom because the war is being fought in the minds of everyone today. It is a different type of warfare. It is being fought with TikTok and Facebook and Twitch. It is being taught. It is being fought in your mind. Get your solar power generator and get cash on hand. Oh, I got all that, baby. All of it. Check out Ann Tucker on YouTube. I've been preparing for 2 years. I'm all set. Good for you, Guinea Marie. I've been preparing for the last 15 years. The last 15 years, I knew this was coming. As you all know, that I'm always too early to things, and I'm way ahead of the curve on these things. I just have this intuition and understanding of everything around me, and I am well informed. And I have been growing this to the point where now I am at where I grew all the resources that I needed, and what I realized what I need now is a community of people to rely on and to build up and to grow something else, and we needed a communication infrastructure. Okay, intelligence is what wins wars. Knowing what's going on and understanding these things is what allows us to have that intelligence to fight this war. So this is Command Central right here. This show is part of the entire system that I'm building for our ability to fight against living in the pot and eating the bugs. Big Baller says, Guinea Marie, I have an exit if you need to leave, if you have 3 days to get out of big cities. And that's part of why I do not live in a big city anymore. As you know, I lived in Beverly Hills, and now I live in the middle of nowhere. Big Baller 73 on 520, Ann Tucker will be posting a live to help you understand. She asks for nothing in return too. Is that a slant at me because I asked for donations? I do apologize that I ask for funding for this, but that is only based on the fact that we are trying to grow and I am bleeding out. And I don't have, you know, major bills like most people, but I do still have expenses, and we have spent over $16,000 on this studio and building this show, and it's been very expensive, and we've made a few $100s off of streaming, but nowhere near what it's cost us. So I'm trying to, and those numbers are going up because I'm paying the staff as well. But I believe that they are essential for this show. And so I'm paying a lot of that out of pocket in order to, you know, keep the quality of the show and not have it be baby steps up to something, but to just be a professional show overnight at all costs. It's investment, you know, into not just my future for this business, but for your future as well. I'm saying she isn't selling Kool-Aid. It's most channelers, people that channel. That's interesting. I looked into Ann Tucker. You turned me on to her, and she's interesting. I do believe in those spiritual things, and I'm also a man of math and science as well. So I think by keeping those, you know, adding spirituality to science, I think is where you find truth. Big Baller, I'm at the border 1 hour from Boston in New Hampshire. Watch the Sean Ryan interview with Tim Tebow. It will open your eyes on how evil the world is. Oh yes, this world is very evil. It's very evil. Did I read this one yet here? I don't think I did. China tariffs staking pushes true cost of import taxes well above 30% on many consumer products. Okay. If you think the numbers are 30% on tariffs, they are not. They're closer to 40 to 70%. The Trump administration trade deal with China, which paused the steep tariffs on Chinese goods, is not offering much relief to importers that face staking on of multiple import taxes, sending the true costs well above 30%. And I would guarantee that Big Baller knows this firsthand because he is relying on importing goods for his business. And I'm sure the prices of these things are much higher. Let me tell you, the shipping costs have gone up exponentially on things just because things went stagnant for a while, so they're trying to recoup their costs, but also because the trucks aren't as full. Guinea Marie, I live in Huntington Beach, California. Big Baller is close to me. Me and Big Baller are neighbors. Is that near Cambria? Where is Cambria? I don't know where Cambria is. I think that's up north. We're in Southern California. It's near Long Beach, I would say. It's yeah, we're down in Southern California. I would say San Diego would be somewhere close. My container went up 15K right next to Newport Beach. Yeah. So you already understand the prices have gone way up, and they probably won't come down even if the tariffs come down, because once they get you used to paying for high prices, they never bring the prices down. Matt Greasy on TikTok says, I am feeling I've been preparing for the event that will never come. Oh, it's coming, baby. It's here. I just think that people don't, they think it's going to be some kind of hot war or something like that, an invasion, Red Dawn kind of thing, which is possible, but I think it's going to be different. It's a war that's going to be fought with your bank account, with your mind, and with your neighbor and your brother. That's the war it will be. Brother against brother. Guinea Marie says, be careful of beaches. The ocean earthquake might cause tsunami. If that tsunami does happen, it will more or less affect people on the other side of the globe, not on the US coast. So that's how that works. There's a major earthquake in California. There's a tsunami in Japan. Or Hawaii. Probably not so much Hawaii, but more or less Japan. No power, money, food, desperation, and killing each other will happen. Oh, definitely. Definitely. If we saw like an EMP or cyber attack, something like that, shutting down the power grid, even just for a few weeks, it would cost people lives. I heard Red Sea, India. Yeah, something like that. So from apparel to footwear, swimsuits to backpacks, tariff bills range from 40 to 70%. Walmart said this week that prices will be going up. Obviously, we know that. And I think that's all we need to take away from this. But basically, it says stacking of multiple tariff layers already implemented during the trade war has pushed up costs to import retail goods much higher than 30% associated with the tentative agreement. While companies are relieved to see a temporary pause from the incredibly high tariffs goods on China, retailers are still facing very high tariffs that will have an impact on prices supply. Big Baller says, if a tsunami hits Huntington Beach, I'm going to paddle out and try to catch it for one last ride. Now that's a bucket list. Big Baller, you got to come out to where we're at and we'll have beachfront property after the coast falls off. Come out to Vegas. What about mile-wide ocean volcano off the coast of Alaska predicted to go off this summer? I think there's been a lot of volcanic activity. As you know, like there was a lot of volcanic activity happening in Yosemite. There's been hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes around the world like crazy. I'm wondering if something much bigger is happening, like, the Earth's poles are shifting or something. Something big is happening. Maybe it's some kind of underground weapon or technology that they're using to cause these catastrophic events so that it looks like a natural disaster, but it's really an act of war. Who knows what it is? I lean towards the latter. It's probably some type of weapon DARPA or something like that. HARP, one of these programs. Guinea says at Neo, there might be a split in the Earth if we have not been told about. I had a 6.0. Yeah, they're saying that there's a possibility that the coast of California could fall into the ocean. They've been saying that for a while. Actually, if you look it up, I'll cover it on Monday maybe. I believe it's where I used to live in Redondo Beach near Rancho Palos Verdes. The earth is cracking there, and Rancho Palos Verdes is falling into the ocean now. And they can't keep the roads and the power on out there because it keeps moving so much. 21 trillion spent underground, and we're being cooked every day. I agree. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. That's why we have to look out for ourselves. U.S. companies surge shipments from China following tariff pause. Freight bookings out of China increased nearly 300% this week compared to the week earlier, soaring to its highest levels this year. All right, let's watch the video.
Tonight, President Trump is touting a dramatic de-escalation of his trade war, calling it a total reset with China after negotiations this weekend.
China was being hurt very badly. They were closing up factories, and they were very happy to be able to do something with us. And I'll speak to President Xi maybe at the end of the week.
For 90 days, while trade talks continue, the U.S. has agreed to lower its 145% tariff on Chinese goods to 30%, while China will go from a 125% tax on American products to 10%. The thaw in relations, even if temporary, sent stocks soaring, the Dow up more than 1,100 points today. All of it as President Trump departs for his first major international trip of this term to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. The president is defending his decision to accept a super luxury jumbo jet from the Qatari government for the Pentagon to use as the new Air Force One, amid ongoing delays for a replacement jet from Boeing. A White House official confirms these are pictures of its interior. The president says the jet will be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation when he leaves office. The White House says legal details are still being worked out on the proposed gift, while Qatar says no final agreement has been reached.
I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too.
Aviation experts tell NBC News the jet would likely have to be dismantled part by part to look for listening devices, then upgraded with expensive systems for mid-air refueling and missile defense. Democrats are blasting the proposed gift as a threat to national security.
And what people will now see is the most powerful man on earth flying around in a plane paid for by a foreign government. It's disgusting. It's wildly corrupt.
Also today, the president signing a sweeping executive order that he says will slash prescription drug costs for Americans by at least 50%, setting a 30-day deadline for drug makers to voluntarily lower the cost. Otherwise, the government will develop a new rule that ties the price the U.S. pays for medications to the lower prices drug companies charge in other countries.
We're no longer paying 10 times more than another country.
The move will likely face legal challenges, and the pharmaceutical industry says it would lead to less treatments and cures for Americans.
Gabe, there could also be some movement tonight in the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine.
Yes, Lester. Today, President Trump said it is possible he may fly to Turkey on Thursday to attend possible peace talks in person. Ukrainian President Zelensky says he'd appreciate it if Trump would go.
All right.
What if someone might be...
Very interesting news. The plane thing, I understand the precedent on that, and maybe that's not the best deal, but I get it. I get it. Why not accept something? But using it as Air Force One, probably not the best choice. All right, let's take a look at the chart here. We're headed down, baby. I think we could see a green candle tomorrow. possibly Sunday. I would say maybe a green candle tomorrow up to, like I said, 242-ish to 247, and then probably back down from there. That would be Monday, Tuesday, and that would validate this head and shoulders possibly forming right now for now. And I think that that's likely because of what's going on with the SEC case. Everyone thought that the case was over. People called me an idiot. They called me a clown because I said that the case was not over, and they didn't want to believe it. But now we have the truth. The truth always comes out. And Tucker says the earth will crack and separate, states will go off on their own. I don't know about that. That sounds a little outlandish. Guinea Marie says it's unacceptable. You talking about the plane thing? I think it's retarded, but also, like, I think part of it is about relations with different countries, you know, trying to create peace. And it's like, you know, when you go somewhere and someone offers you an iced tea or something, you don't say no, thank you. You, even if you don't like tea, I would have said the word that starts with a B with the 2 E's and an R at the end. Can't say it because of TikTok, but it's one of those things where you don't refuse kind gestures when you're trying to create peace. You say no excuse. I don't see it as a bribe. I see it as trying to create a gesture of goodwill. I get it. Does it create a precedent for him to look bad? Obviously, yes. People are gonna whatever, but I'm trying to, you know, understand the middle ground, that there's a lot of eggshells to be walked on with these deals that they're dealing with, especially the Middle East, and, you know, trying to alleviate tension. I get it. Big Baller says we're all living in a simulation, the Truman Show, and now we are living in the Trump Show. He says you have to take responsibility for your behavior. I agree, and I think part of it is like he's like, hey, they gave us a gift. We're not gonna say no. We're not taking the gift. I get it. Should he be using it as Air Force One? No. Maybe he should just give it directly to the museum, just like the leopard that they were given by Syria. You know, and now it's, you know, in a preserve or whatever. Don't, you know, turn your nose up at goodwill. You know, that's the idea. And I get it. I understand. And I understand the fine line there. It's not a Boeing. He's causing war everywhere. It's not about peace, in my view. Well, here's the deal with that is we were already on the brink of World War III, okay? But instead of sending in troops and fighting that way, we're fighting with making deals. And that's what I'm trying to understand. I don't think he's perfect. I'm not going to sit here and defend everything he does, but I do understand why. Oh, I understand the whole Gaza thing, kids starving. And that's why he's trying to make a deal to go in there and send the people somewhere else as refugees and go in and rebuild it. I get it. I understand. But he's a businessman. He does. Your live is flagged for hate speech and hateful behaviors. Reported violations could result in your live being discontinued. Hate speech for what? We can't talk about anything here. All right. The live is over on TikTok. If you want to enjoy the live from here on out, it's 8 o'clock anyway. We can't go past 8 o'clock or we start getting hit with guidelines. I can't stand it anymore. So TikTok is done. We'll be on Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat, all lowercases, no spaces. Come on over to Twitch where we can actually talk about things. Nothing we said is hate speech. What did we hate on? I cannot stand it anymore. I am up to here with TikTok. I'm at the point where I'm going to just completely 86 TikTok altogether. This is ridiculous. We have done nothing wrong. We've said nothing hateful. We've never given misinformation. Everything that we state is backed by news and articles. We are just reading the news, okay? Nothing we've done has done anything to break their rules, and we still get hit with guidelines. We appeal them, and they don't approve the appeals. I am done with it. I am done with TikTok. We will no longer be going live on TikTok. I am done. I am just completely done. We're not allowed to have an opinion. We're not allowed to talk. We're not allowed to discuss these things. And that's part of the problem is we need to discuss these things. We need to have a place where we can talk and get to the bottom of these things. And we are not creating hate. We're creating unity here. We're trying to break the bonds between the bifurcation of not just this country, but this entire world. I am sick of it. People on TikTok must report you somehow. Yeah, probably fake news, but I just had a big Meta guy say that Meta wants to buy Ripple. Actually, I think that's true. I heard something about that. Let me see. Can we get a fact check on whether Meta is trying to buy Ripple? All right. We're going to Twitch. Come on over to Twitch if you're watching on TikTok. We're down to 12 viewers on TikTok anyway. So if you want to continue with the show, we will be on Twitch. That's Ozthecryptogoat. Come on over. And if you do come over from TikTok onto Twitch, put something in the chat and put your name of who you are on TikTok so that way we know who you are. And welcome to the community. We are done with TikTok. I am done. All right, TikTok is 86th as of now. I am done with it. I don't want anything to do with TikTok. I can't stand it anymore. But you know what? It's that time of the show anyway. 8 o'clock is about the time when we do that. Big Baller is gifted 5 tier 1 subs to Ozthecryptogoats community. They've gifted a total of 10 in the channel. Thank you, Big Baller, for the subs. Thank you. Clone Hoodie got a sub. Jason45 got a sub. Mellow Jello got a sub. Neo got a sub. And someone else in, it looks like Korean, got a sub. Welcome, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. We got a hype train. We are 50% of the way to getting a hype train. So if you want to gift a sub, that's a good way to help the show. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I lost the chat. Hold on a second. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, we're back. Okay, got the chat back. Thank you, Big Baller. Did you get your 5 subs? I sure did. And I just announced you. Thank you so much. And I have fact checkers checking on whether or not Meta is trying to buy Ripple. Let me see. They're working remotely, so let me call them real quick. Just a second. All right. All right. Fact checkers are working on it. Oh. Now give them to the TikTok people. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that support. I'm just done. I am so done with TikTok. So we got everybody here on Twitch, right? You guys ready for some pretty cool information? This is something that you may want to know. Big Baller, you live here in California, so this more pertains to you, but obviously you guys can invest. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the stage thing. Let's start with the first part is so investing, right? Now, my source on this information has an NDA and I cannot disclose who it is. However, in my line of work, you all know I'm an was an audio engineer. I'm retired, right? We sit in these meetings, okay? And I sit in some meetings and other people sit in other meetings, right? And I from a very credible source, okay, that I am going to give my backing of approval, told me this information, okay? And do with it what you will, and understand that this is something that California is looking to legislate and use this new technology, but none of it has been legislated yet or implemented yet. So looking into these technologies and getting into them now could be very lucrative for you. Have you gave the news? Just came back. Yeah, we're done with the news, but we are going over some information now. Little story time as well. But Big Baller says spit it out. Okay, so a friend of mine that I work with, highly trusted source, told me. It's funny how you guys are like, spit it out. I always drag it out a little bit. Obviously, okay, so hear me out. 50% of it is riffing, okay, because I'm trying to run out the clock. Oh, we got a hype chest. I'm going to open this thing. Rewards, batter up emote. Nice. Okay, we got a little hype chest I got to open up. Let me post it. Look at that. We got a new emoji, the batter up, the choo-choo. All right, sorry. Like I said, 50% of me dragging this out is riffing, and it's part of the show, but it's also build up. Okay, a good show keeps you on the edge of your seat. Big Baller says, donate to the hype train and it will go up in viewers. Yes. Help out and donate. And don't forget that you can send bits. Okay. There's a little diamond thing and it looks like the Ethereum symbol. You can send bits. I lowered the prices. I set them nice and low so they're like a penny, I think. And that way it's a more affordable thing. I didn't realize the price on those things. So that's been adjusted and lowered so that we can get more of that engagement going on. So send in a few of those and I'm going to give you some lucrative information. I wouldn't say it's insider trading because, first of all, I'm not naming a source. For all you know, I'm lying to you. But obviously, I'm not here to lie to you guys. But I'm not, I didn't hear this. This is hearsay. Big Baller with 100 bits. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So this information is, this is not directly from the horse's mouth. I did not sit in on this meeting, okay? Guinea Marie with another 100 bits. Okay? This is hearsay information, but I trust the source that told it to me, okay? And I know it to be true because, like I said, we all sit in these meetings. So basically, there is a new technology coming out that California and I think other states will be looking to implement this stuff. And as you know, that they're trying to go green. AV with the 100 bits. Thank you very much. Wow, this is awesome. I love Twitch. I just want to be done with TikTok altogether. But we have been moving people over to the Twitch side. So I'm going to write it out with TikTok until probably the 19th. But we're going to be working towards handling that. Anyway, back to, yeah, it feels a lot calmer here. And where you get Big Ballers yawning. Okay. The reason why it feels better here is because TikTok is very addictive, and the way it works, it's very manipulative in your mind and controlling, and this doesn't have any of those features. And this is more along the lines for having a podcast like we're doing now. So this is just where we belong. It just feels right. And I don't have a lot of competition here with other crypto channels because we are the #1 crypto channel on Twitch, in my opinion. And I would tell you, go check it out. Just type in on Twitch crypto in the search bar and try to find any good channel. Try to find one and you won't. This is the best. Hercules says fusion technology. What are you talking about? Like cold fusion for like energy? Is that what you're talking about? I just moved, bro. Some Democrat got mad you mentioned Trump from an unbiased perspective. I know, right? It's ridiculous. Thank you, Matt Greasy. Who are you on TikTok? Is that who you are on TikTok, I believe? Yeah, Matt Greasy. That sounds about right. I think that you have the same name. Welcome. Glad to have you. And that's the only reason why we're still doing TikTok is to steal their viewership. Yeah, Matt Greasy. I remember you. Glad to have you. Welcome. Welcome. It's much better here. And TikTok takes away the TikTok live, the way I have it casted to the screen all the time. So sometimes I have to point my phone at the screen. It's ridiculous. I'm just done with TikTok. All right. So back to the information. Since Matt Greasy is here, you're a new viewer. So let me fill you in on who I am and what I've done and where I come from. So I was an audio video engineer in Hollywood for IATSE Local 33, and I'm retired now at 36 years old, and now I day trade crypto. And in my job, I've done, some of the biggest shows, you name it, I've done it, right? You'll learn more about that about me later on. But one of the things that I've done with my job is I sit in these business meetings and I run the audio for these panels. I have a lot of NDAs and there's a lot of information I can't disclose. However, there are things that I can disclose. I listen to you routinely, bro. I'm familiar with your background. All right, perfect. Sorry. I don't know because some people don't chat, so I don't know who watches all the time. Bro, I'm sending you 1,000 goats. Spit it out. All right. So here it is. I envy you're retired already. That's my age. You'll get there. You keep watching this show and we'll get there together. All right. Big Baller wants me to spill it. So California in particularly, but I think multiple states are going to be doing this. But there is new technology that exists that has not been implemented, okay? And if you know, in 2020, Donald Trump signed the release of technologies. I don't know if it was a bill or a executive order, but I believe it was a bill. And it's for all suppressed technology to be released and implemented into society by 2025. And we're in 2025 now, as you all know. So that's where all this new technology is coming from. All these changes are coming from. It all stems from that order. Yeah, this thing does have ads. I know it does suck, and there's nothing I can do about it. That we didn't originally have ads, but when I became an affiliate, it just became part of it. So my apologies. If you don't want to deal with ads, become a subscriber. It does help the show. I do get the money from the ads now. So when you send that in and you become a subscriber, I do get paid that. So it does help support the show. It'll be dark for 7 minutes. Yeah. I'll be dark for 7 minutes. I got a riff. I think the ads are only like 2 to 3 minutes long. You remind me of my grandpa, Storyteller Deluxe. Yeah. My grandpa used to tell this joke story where he would just go on and on and on about he was going to tell a joke, and it would have tons of useless information all through it, and then it would end and it wasn't funny at all. But let me hold off because I don't want to repeat it. I guess I'll repeat it because I know you all have been waiting. All right, so I'll spill the beans because we got to get into the Taylor Swift stuff, and we only got about 30 minutes left. You guys are hilarious. All right, I'm spitting it out. There's this new technology, okay? And what they want to do is they want to go green. I don't see any ads that would ruin it all. All right, let me spit it out. I'm trying to address the chat at the same time. So here's the deal. They want to go green, and they're coming up with these new technologies to reduce carbon emissions. And the technology that they're going to be not only releasing, but legislating that has to be done. Okay? They're going to force companies to do this. So when companies have factories and different things, they produce emissions, right? And it puts those carbon emissions go into the air, whatever. We can argue and speculate on whether or not they do whatever they say they're doing. Who cares? The main thing is that they are pushing to implement these changes, which will, they think will help the environment. All right. I don't think that the technology is actually good for the environment. I think most of the environmental changes that they make end up being more detrimental. And by the sounds of this technology, I believe that to be the case. Okay, we don't know the implications of what will happen because of this. Yeah, electric cars are the same way. And same with this technology, but they're going to get people to vote on it and get them all about it based off of this idea that it's going to be better for the environment, but it's probably going to be worse. But they're still going to get it to pass, and they're going to use their tricky ways of wording it to make it happen. But what they're looking to do is implement this technology, which basically takes those carbon emissions and it pelletizes them. What's the ticker symbol on Coinbase? What do you mean? I don't use Coinbase, so I don't know. So what it does is it pelletizes the emissions, the carbon emissions. And what they do is they're going to take these pellets and they're going to buy up lots of land, areas out in the middle of the desert, between Vegas and Los Angeles, all of that barren, desolate land. And basically what they're stating is they want to force these companies to put a type of filter onto their emissions that collects all of this stuff and pelletizes it. And then they're going to pump it into the ground, underground. And it's supposed to create oil or something like that. What company is doing this? I cannot say what company is doing this. However, what I can say is you can research this stuff and find out who has this technology. So I can't tell you everything because there are legal repercussions and it would be considered insider trading possibly. Okay, but I can tell you about the process of it, and whatever you do with that information from there is on you. I'm not telling you to go invest in a certain company. I'm not telling you anything. What I'm telling you is what their plans are. And that I believe that there's a gray area there that I can stand on. I probably shouldn't even be telling you this, but I feel like I should be okay because it's hearsay. I'm not listing a source. I was not in that meeting. I have no NDA. I should be good. Okay, give a key phrase to search. I don't have one. I would say carbon emissions technologies, something like that would be something to be looking for. But, some type of company that does things to make companies more green. Big Baller says, found it. That was quick. Good for you. Those companies are going to be doing very well. And that's because they're going to legislate these things. These companies will be forced to do this. And they're also going to be buying up barren, desolate land. So if you live in California and there are these areas, I would even say probably not California City, but places like that, that are very underdeveloped, too hot to live in, places where they're building lots of solar farms, things like that, desert, barren land, places where water does not flow, things like that. That type of land right now is dirt cheap, and it will become very valuable. Who knows? This could take 20, 30 years for it to happen or not happen at all. It may not get passed, but their plan is to pump these pellets underground and to buy up these plots of land and force people out of those areas not to live there because the water will no longer be usable and different things like that. But that is the direction they're moving. So do what you will with that information. Hopefully it points you in the right direction and you can figure out who it is I'm talking about. But these things are more than likely going to come into fruition. If you know anything about California and how they legislate and how they do things, then you'll know. If you can't find it, I would say get together with Big Baller and message him. He seems to have located it. This is going to destroy our country. Oh, I agree. This is not a good thing, but it's probably going to happen. And like I said, the idea of combating this stuff is to enrich ourselves in a way that we have a way to fight back. On TikTok? I don't think it's on TikTok. Yeah, Big Baller on TikTok is bwalters73. Tons of money will be thrown at this project. Oh, definitely. Definitely. This is gonna be a big one, baby. Look at you, bro. Already found it. But now you know what to look for. Having the information of knowing what to find and seek out is half the battle. So this is going to be a big deal in the future here. I would say probably more or less in big cities like California, Seattle, New York, Chicago, things like that. What's the project? My phone had died. Okay, the project is carbon emission companies. They're building technologies. Certain companies are building technologies, and they're legislating and forcing companies to use this technology. And basically what it does is it's carbon emission filters that they put on these factories and things that create carbon emissions, and it pelletizes the carbon emissions, and then they buy up land in desolate areas, desert areas, and where there's no population. So buying these plots of land will become lucrative, and investing into these companies will become lucrative. And what they do is they pump these pelletized emissions into the ground and put them underground, and it's supposed to create oil or something like that, diamonds. I'm not quite sure what it is that it produces, but it produces something from it, or it just discards of it. I don't know too much about it. I was not in the meeting myself. This is hearsay from someone that told me this, but it is a valuable, reliable source. Giddy Marie, what's the TikTok name? You mean at B Walters 73? His TikTok name is Big Baller. If you're looking for the TikTok name of this company, I don't even know if it's on TikTok. I would say you probably found it on Google. I can't give you the name of the company, but I can give you the information. I'm reading it, and 99% of California is going green. Yes, 90%. This is very true. And it'll probably become 100%, because what they're going to end up doing is forcing these companies to do this. Okay? It'll be legislated. And these companies that own this technology will be very lucrative. They will blow up overnight. And it's a very new technology that has not really been used or implemented yet. So this is something that could potentially be very lucrative for you. So look into it. Check it out. I didn't grow up with computers. There's a big 5 companies that are it. Yes. There's 5 big companies, and there will be more than one company. Giddy Marie says, you're killing me. Yeah, you're going to have to figure out how to reach each other. I believe you can send whispers to each other by just clicking Big Baller's name in the chat. It should take you to his page. You should be able to send him a whisper on Twitch here and connect and get that information. Or Big Baller can put the information in the chat. I cannot do it. CCS companies. What does CCS stand for? Carbon Cleaning Solutions. Guinea Marie says, I just whispered you, Big Baller. Yeah, Big Baller has the information, and Big Baller, you can put that in the chat. I cannot confirm or deny whether or not carbon capture and storage. I cannot confirm or deny any of these company names, but what I can tell you is that is the direction they're moving. Big Baller says Schneider Electric looks like the big one. I cannot confirm or deny any of these companies, but you know where to look and where to get into. So hopefully that helps you all. Yeah, and remember, you're only going to hear this kind of stuff here on this show, because no one else is even willing to give out this information. It's very it could be very damning to someone's career or to them legally. I'm not afraid anymore. I really don't care anymore. I'm retired now. I have nothing to prove or to hide from anyone. But I do want to help people. So that's where I'm at with all of it. And I do believe I'm not breaking any laws because I didn't sit in that meeting. I wasn't there. I just heard it from somebody, and I'm not naming a source. So I think I'm good. I haven't named any companies. And if there is some kind of backlash, I'm sure whatever litigation comes of it, they're not going to have anything to stand on with it. So I'm not too worried about it. I will tell you what I feel I can tell you, and I will hint at what I can't tell you. And that's basically where we're at. All right, Taylor Swift. So, these stages, and I'm sure you've seen or heard of this stuff, okay? It's all over TikTok. What I'm here to do is confirm it, okay? Because I know you all trust me and I have no reason to lie to you. Obviously, I'm an entertainer with the show, but it's more than just entertainment. I feel like people need to know this information. And you probably already know and understand this and believe this to be true. So it's really not much to give to you. What I'm here to do is to confirm the information. Okay, as someone that has seen this stuff firsthand and experienced, I wouldn't necessarily say a part of it, but directly exposed to it and observed it with my own two eyes, not just in the shows themselves, but through rehearsals, talks about it, gatherings, meetings, things like that. As you all may know, that Hollywood is a satanic cult, and the things that they do, they are, and we're going to talk more on this. I'm going to breadcrumb trail you down more information on this, but we're going to break it up because it's just too much. It's too much to give out all at once, and we just don't have the time to cover it. Guinea Marie says, I've heard of this, but thought it was not true. It is very much true. And they are all like different groups and organizations and societies that are operating. Each of them have different rules and things that they abide by, and each of them serve a certain purpose. Lots of women in Hollywood are men. Yes, this is very true. Lots of this stuff that happens. Look at what's going on with the Diddy thing. All of that is very real. And there's a lot more to it. Uh-oh, management is in the studio. I'm about to get in trouble.
You do.
I heard Taylor Swift was a man. No, that's not true. That is not true. I think there's a possibility that Michelle Obama may be a man. I'm just saying, I've seen the angle of the dangle, okay? Okay, but Hollywood is a oh yeah, Ellen show. There's a lot to it. You guys understand all of it, okay? All of it is these satanic groups and societies, and yes, they are trafficking kids. Adrenochrome is a real thing. They do sacrifice. Yes, they do all these things, and we're going to get more into that, okay? I'm going to breadcrumb trail you on this one. We're going to talk about this more. But what they do is they are different societies that adhere to certain agendas and certain things that they have to abide by as far as rules. Clive Davis, Quincy Jones are really evil. I can't speak on that directly. I do not know. I've heard about all this by a friend in the spiritual world. Yes, this is very real stuff. And what I'm getting at with this is some of this is going to sound crazy. Okay. But vampires are real, but they're not what you think they are. They're regular human people, but there are a group of people that are in a blood cult. Okay. We'll talk about management is freaking out right now. They do more than just drink blood. And what they do is they use blood to gain jurisdiction. Okay. They're like gangs, or I would say more or less like societies, but like gangs. And they have to operate under a certain set of rules, and they use certain aspects, such as the vampires. They use blood as a way to circumvent these things to gain jurisdiction, so that they are abiding by rules, but also breaking them at the same time. They get high on adrenochrome. Oh yes, definitely. It's more than that. It's more than just getting high. It's a way for them to look younger and more beautiful and different things like that. Kitty Marie says Oprah is a demon. I cannot say that I know anything about that, but what I can do is speak on what I do know. Okay. These groups are real, and we'll talk about the vampire group for now for this show. We've got about 15 minutes left, so let me rush through it. They use blood to circumvent rules that they have to adhere to, and they use the blood to gain jurisdiction so that they can operate and conduct business legally based off of their set of rules. They are of a different, they don't operate under the Constitution. They don't operate under the law of the land. They more or less operate under maritime law, but it's more of a law of, this is too much. I got to give you more later on, but they operate on different laws than we do. And I don't know for certain if, we'll get into that in another live. Okay. Here's the main thing to take from this. The shows that they do, the stages that they build are altars. Okay. They are altars, and it's almost like a type of religion per se. And the performances are rituals that they're performing. And the courts are satanic rituals. That's why you get summoned as a corpse. Yes, this is very true. That is very true. And that is part of it. It's all through maritime law. We'll get into a show where we talk more about that and the way the court system is. I always say, I'm not judged by a man in a black robe. I'm judged by a man in white. My judge wears a white robe. So, admiralty and maritime law are legal fiction. Look up Cesti QV Trust UK Act 1666. Yes. So you understand what I'm talking about. And Aussie Nate, I believe you are from Australia. So that's the UK version of it, I believe. And there is also a United States version. And the courts are enclaves here in the United States. An enclave is anything with four corners, technically. And but it can also be other things. It's basically a pirate ship. Okay? So when you enter into these courtrooms, you are leaving the country and you are entering onto their pirate ship, and their courts are conducted under maritime law as though they are conducting as a pirate ship. The magistrate or whatever that you're in front of is not a judge. Okay? And the people in Hollywood operate under these same laws, okay? And they have their own courts. And their courts convene in a much different way, but they have to abide and adhere by these laws. And what they do is they circumvent the way we do things with our court system in a different way, but still technically abiding by the rules, because they all have to follow the rules, okay? And if they break the rules, there are consequences. Look at the hospital symbol. Yes. That comes from Greek mythology. That is, what's the Greek god that has the flying shoes that flies around and carries the staff? Hermes. That's the symbol of Hermes. Yes, clone hitty. So yeah. All of this is real stuff, and they operate and do these things, but these stages are altars and their performance are rituals and sacrifices, and it's all part of it. I would say with the Diddy thing, they are of the a different type of, they're not like the blood cult. The vampires are the blood cult. They're vampires is what they are. And that's what they call themselves. But they worship blood. The other ones, they worship, like the Diddy thing, those, they worship, they gain jurisdiction through intercourse. And they worship, what is it? Esther? What's the god of fertility? Oh yeah, Poseidon they use water for jurisdiction. Dionysus. Ozzy Nate says Eshtar. I believe that's another name, but it's Ionisis. Stairway to Heaven. Yes. So you guys are all understanding and open-minded and understand these things. They want to ruin children because children are God's children. It's more than that. It's more than that. I think that that's part of it, but more or less it all stems down to jurisdiction. The third eye is open. Yes. Yes, they do want to hurt children. It is part of their satanic rituals and things that they do. The thing is, they all worship different gods and different things, but all of them are ruled over by an overlord society that is ruled by Satan. They're a satanic cult that rules over all. And so they use these different tactics to gain jurisdiction, and it's all linked to trade through maritime law. So they buy, sell, and trade things that are not on the everyday market, such as adrenochrome, drugs, children, sex, things like that. These are the they have a market and an economy and all these different things, and they all operate, and it's all through mostly illegal things. Some of them are actually legal that they use. Yeah, dark web stuff. And mind you, there are two different things. There's the deep web and there's the dark web. There are two different things, okay? Two different things. And if you do enter into the dark web, make sure that you're protected properly, okay? Pottery Barn too. I don't know anything about Pottery Barn. That's interesting. I'd like to know what you all know about that. My question for you all is, has anybody had any direct contact with any of these things, or is it all just things you've learned from the internet? Beast system of the ocean prophesied in Revelation. Yes. So Guinea Marie has had direct, tell me about your story. I'm interested. I have in-person contact. I'm curious to your story about that. What contact it has that you have had. Obviously, it's probably a lot. I gotta figure out if there's a way to have guests on the stream here on Twitch. I'm gonna have the IT guy look into that. Because I want to hear other people talk about this stuff, because there are many out there that are in my position that have been exposed to it and offered into it and denied it and were rebuked and shunned from it. And once you get one opportunity, to join, and after that, that's it. I have a friend that does spiritual healings through hypnosis. People come in and they have these attachments and tell these stories. She asked me to be there to witness because she did these alone. Bro, you are up to 18 in Twitch. TikTok is bringing your Twitch down. Oh, I know. I agree. I firmly agree. And, you know, we're talking about things that I think people will find interesting. And there are things that I think people should know. Tell us about Taylor Swift. She is part of the satanic cult. And let me explain something. So Harry Potter, the stories of Harry Potter play a role in this. Some of them are a coven or a guild or a clan of witches and sorcerers. Does she brainwash her fans? Yes, they literally conduct hypnosis and certain things on people in all different types of ways. You guys in the USA should claim your state. Your social security number is a link to your trust to become a state national. Yes, it is. We are all actually very wealthy. I am working towards figuring out how to do this legally in a way where I know where I stand and I can firmly stand on that ground and be shielded from that. Because if you just think you know something and start spouting it off, it will come back and bite you in the ass. You have to be well educated in these things. It does take time, but everything stems from jurisdiction. Everything in these courts, it all stems from jurisdiction. Oz, look up David Straight. Can you look up David Straight for me? David Straight? The fact checker's in here. I got some money to throw behind you if you want to take a leap. What are you talking about? And what context are you talking about David Straight? I think it has to do with like legal stuff for gaining your nationalism and sovereignty. QAnon? Is David Straight connected to QAnon? Yeah. Okay, first of all, sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You cannot be sovereign and be a citizen. So right off the bat there, if he's connected to sovereign citizenship, the only sovereign citizens are police officers. Okay, first of all. And sovereign citizenship, you cannot be sovereign and be a citizen at the same time. What are we talking about now? You should be an investigative journalist. I am an investigative journalist. I have okay. We're investigating into it right now, but I also have you'll see, Big Baller, I'll be bringing my equipment to Vegas. I have a nice little setup for how we're going to be doing the interviews and the live shows on the street. I am starting a new show on YouTube exclusively. He is state national, not sovereign citizen. Yeah, look up state national. I believe it's sovereign national, though, is the correct term. He is saying he'll get back financially. Yeah, man. We'll talk in Vegas, you know, or give however you want to. He goes over everything we've been talking about. He processes are 100% correct. He says the same thing about sovereign citizens being a contradiction. Okay. I'll look into it. I see that he's somewhat connected to QAnon, but just because he's connected to QAnon doesn't mean that he's not correct. It's secured party creditor. Yeah. It's corporate law, and corporate refers to a dead entity. We're going to cover more of this. I'll do more investigative journalism into it, and we'll talk about it and discuss it. He's not connected to QAnon. Okay, maybe we're looking into the wrong guy. I'll look more into it. We'll do a special... Right, but them stating that he's part of QAnon could be just a opinion piece, so it doesn't necessarily mean that. So we're going to look into this more, and we're going to do an exclusive Twitch live. We'll do the full 4 hours on Twitch, and we'll cover, basically, we'll only talk about this stuff. We will get rid of the crypto stuff maybe for one day and just cover all of these different things. You know what, we might have some stuff, but we'll talk about it. Let's look at the 1 hour real quick. What are we seeing in the 1 hour? This looks like a little Head and Shoulders. When you see in the lower time frames, Head and Shoulders, so we're looking at a Head and Shoulders possibly forming, right? Let me show you here. So this could be a Head and Shoulders, right? So if this is a Head and Shoulders forming right here, you tend to see more Head and Shoulder formations in the lower time frames. And that would be this Head and Shoulders that is formed right here. So this is another indication, and this comes from AI trading. Okay, this Head and Shoulders right here is an indication that this bigger Head and Shoulders is going to play out. Let's go into a little bit lower time frame, 30-minute. As you can see, we're not forming anymore, but this is kind of a Head and Shoulders. It's a little wonky, but kind of a Head and Shoulders. Okay. I would say that that is still classified as a Head and Shoulders. Those are indications. I'd say this is more of an inverted cup and handle. And if this is an inverted cup and handle right here, this is a heavy indication of downward movement. Do you see it? Do you see the cup and handle here? Boom. There it is. Please don't leave a cliffhanger. And that validates down to 215 to 210, which I would say that's where we're headed. I'm speaky G about yes self L with SPC University. I'm watching ads for 7 minutes again. Yusef L with SPC University. Can you look that up? It says Yusef L with SPC University. We're already over time. It's 9 o'clock, so we do need to segue. He's on YouTube. YU self. EL. Yeah, different word. That's his name. Yeah. Oh, it's Yusef. It's Yusef. Okay, we're looking it up. We're going to cover more of this maybe Monday or something. Just put my daughter to bed, headed to poker. Good night. Have a good night. We're going to end the show, and we'll talk more about this on Monday, I think. We'll do a special live just for Twitch, so don't miss out on it. But it looks like we have an inverted cup and handle, which would validate a move at least to 225. And maybe see a correction there and then come back down some more. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you all later. Let's all think about and ponder on the things that we've talked about and understand that there are powers that be that are mightier than thee. Have a good one, all, and have a good night. like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Share the show with your friends. Follow me on all platforms at Ozthecryptogoat. All lowercases, no spaces. The #1 live stream on Abstract. Days and days and days in a row. We are just killing it on Abstract. But we're also on YouTube and TikTok and Twitch and X and Facebook and Instagram as well. Saint says I'm going to 1 million likes today. Honestly, I'm happy with 100K likes. Start tapping away. I need all my liking warriors. I need all my chatting warriors. I need you guys in the chat and involved. W's in the chat. Don't forget hashtag crypto, hashtag stand with crypto, hashtag FYP, hashtag let's go. Let's get the algorithm boosted. That's what we're going to do in this. What's the Discord server? The Discord server link is in my bio. Click the link in my bio and you can get it there. If you have trouble joining the Discord, copy it and put it into your browser and it'll take you right in. For some reason, the link sometimes gives people a hard time. If you have like malware, spamware on your phone, it's going to give you a hard time getting in there. So it's easy. Just copy and paste it into your browser. It's going to pop right up and you're going to get right into the Discord. No problem. So join the Discord. We've got the voice channel open on the side. It says lounge and you can pop in there. But please, if you do pop in on the Discord and you want to chat and have the conversation with Stand With Crypto, stay on TikTok as well, so that way we don't lose our viewership and we don't get bumped down in the algorithm, because we do want this message to be heard. You know what? Let's see here. Let's try something. Let's try something here. Let's try this here. Let's see here. Keep smashing that like button, guys. Tristan J. Kelly says, hi, Oz. Stop by to show some support. Appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. We're going to have an amazing show today. We have Cali Crypto from Stand With Crypto, not Crypto Cali, okay? Or yeah, Cali Crypto. So he is one of the influencers and people here with well, I am live. I gotta take a picture. Yeah. I get nothing but problems from TikTok, man. 50% of the live goal is completed. Thank you, Seamont, Run Up. Thank you guys. Mother Dragons, MVP, Revolution. Thank you guys. We're halfway through our live goal here. And if you don't want to give anything, no problem. Just keep hitting the like button or spam the chat. Put an emoji in the chat. Put a W in the chat. If you think that this show is a winner, put a W in the chat. All right. Who out there thinks that this show is a winner and should stay on the air? And if you think it shouldn't, put an L in the chat. If you think I should kick rocks, put an L in the chat. Let me know.
No L's.
That's right. No L's. Mother, I see you in the Discord. How are you?
Trying to support you, man. I'm in both.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Remember, if you are in the Discord, make sure you stay on the live with TikTok and you continue to engage with TikTok while we're doing the show, because we will open the questions at the end after we have a little interview and a little chat, and you guys will have an opportunity to ask your questions, and I'm sure you're going to develop new questions as we talk and as we engage. And this is how education is done. You have to understand that these people that are coming on here, they are rubbing elbows, having dinners with the most powerful and influential people in the world, in this country, in the crypto space. These are the people that are developing the structure for the laws that will govern us and crypto. So this is your opportunity to have your voices be heard, to come together as a community and state your beef or state your praise. You know, this is your opportunity. You, ladies and gentlemen, have the opportunity to actually have your voices heard in a meaningful manner, not just random, influencers or people that are arguing on this space, but actually someone that has institutional power that can make changes on your behalf. These are the people that want to represent you in this space. They want to hear what you think. They want to hear what you have to say. Let your voices be heard. That is what's beautiful and what's powerful about this show, is we can come together as a community, and we can do so much more than just whine and complain about the markets, whine and complain about legislation. We can actually stand up and do something about it. If we're for something, this platform literally gives you an easy way to onboard you into reaching out to your senators, to your congressmen, to the people that influence you. And even if you are in a different country and you're not in the United States, we still want to hear your voice. You are still part of the crypto community. The crypto sphere is a global community. That's what's the beauty about it is. So I may be the California constituent, but you are adjacent to me because I am in California, even if you're outside of the country. So you hold influence in California through me. So you have an opportunity to step up and have your voices be heard. It's beautiful. It's honestly, I don't know anyone else in the space that's doing it like this. I don't know anybody else that's making moves like this. I see people that are going to events, they're interviewing people. There's people that are having their shows, but like, who's actually trying to make a difference out here? Actually pounding the pavement. I mean, I'm spending my own money to go out here and plug myself in, to put myself in a position to be influential in a way that can be positive towards the community, not just in myself, not just to my bags, but to the overall picture of what crypto is, right? We want crypto to grow and be something beautiful and amazing, and not a tool for control and tracking, right? We want it to be about freedom. And this is the time where we can stand up and we can make it about freedom, or we can make it about pumping our bags, because that's what they want. They want you to focus on pumping your bags and not focus on the legislation, because there is legislation at hand that can be passed, but we don't talk about it. It's unheard of. You haven't even heard it until it came out of my mouth. That's a sad thing, that no one else is really digging into it. They're digging as far as, how is this going to pump my bag? And there's so much more. What's up, brother?
No, like I think you're spot on. We navigate through these live streams often, and nobody really talks about what crypto has to offer. We're still using it like just like traditional finance, So getting our voices out there heard, and understanding like this is our opportunity to use these investment vehicles, this Wall Street that we've recreated, and keep the playing field level that was previously unlevel, like for the last century almost. So
Right. This is our one opportunity to actually have control of finance. The control of finance can be in the hands of the people, and the bankers and the investors in Wall Street are starting to get their claws into it, and we got to keep them out of the cookie jar. It's our turn, right? This is for the people.
definitely.
Ladies and
People
gentlemen,
really understand that yet, and having these kind of streams like this and raising awareness is important.
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting on the front lines of freedom, okay? The battles that we fight in this new war will be fought on your cell phone, on your computer, on your television screen, and in your mind, okay? And we are fighting on those front lines of freedom. So we need you to show up and show out and hit that like button, send in gifts, get this platform pushed into the algorithm, because today is important. Any other day, slack off. I don't care. You know what I've realized is I'm actually more popular than I realized, because there are dozens and dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of fake accounts of me that have hundreds of thousands of followers each. And I may not get the credit for it. I don't care. It's about getting the message out there. So today is the day to shine, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day to be hitting the like button, to be engaged, to stay for the entire show, listen to what we have to say, debate about it, come on to the Discord and have your voice be heard, ask your questions, be involved, and actually make a difference in the space. That's why we're here. We want to make a difference. We want to secure our freedom. Turn off the music while you guys are talking. All right. I should probably turn it off anyway here. All right. It's time to kill the music. So what's up, brother? You wanna do a little prequel back and forth? Let's talk Clarity Act, brother. Where you stand? What are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I'll be honest, I'm not really 100% sure of the legislation of it. I know people have been talking about that, the Clarity Act. My stance on the whole thing is we need to protect decentralized finance at all costs. There's never been a better investment vehicle for the common man that's ever existed, like in our lifetimes. Like, we have an opportunity here to be our own institution, and I think that needs to be protected. So whatever this legislation is trying to push out there, I think that kind of verbiage needs to be involved in it. The scary thing is most people don't really know about like DeFi like that. They when people trade crypto, they trade on Coinbase. And that's actually how I knew about what's that? Stand with Cryptos, because I've used them quite a few times on Coinbase, like just to reach out to my local senators and whatnot.
And you're one of the few that do that. Most people, they'll sit here and they'll gripe and they'll complain about, what's going on, what the rules are, what the laws are, but they don't actually do anything about it. They don't get involved. They don't get into politics. They don't let their voices be heard. They don't write letters. They don't write emails. They don't do anything. Stand with Crypto literally makes it easy. They wrote the letter for you. They have the,
for real.
It's literally like click and it's done for you.
Exactly.
My main concern with the Clarity Act is, and it can be molded, right? It's not set in stone. It's only passed in the House. It's moved into the Senate. And when it's in the Senate, it has the opportunity to evolve and change into something much better, more refined, right? Mm-hmm. And the issue that I have with it is it does need refining. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to talk more on that. But, we want institutions to come into crypto, right? That's going to pump our bags. That's why everybody wants the Clarity Act, because it's going to basically make it so the SEC doesn't regulate it anymore, and it's the CFTC that regulates it now. That's basically what the Clarity Act does. So that allows institutions to be able to buy things like XRP, right? Well, as of right now, institutions can't buy XRP because the injunction is still in place. Well, once the law changes, and this is something I've been saying all year long, all last year, once the law changes, then that will change, and you will see institutions come into XRP and other projects as well. But a lot of them are hands off right now because there's not enough clarity. There's not enough, set in stone, concrete. Should we be getting into this or not? They want to, but these are institutions where if they do something wrong and mess up, they can lose everything, right? They have a lot at stake. So we have to provide an on-ramp for the institutions to come in. So that's like the main focus that everyone's focused on, but everyone's lost sight of, do we want to give up our security and our legitimacy as the holders, as the retail, as the consumer, right?
What security would you be giving up? I guess would be my question.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Gotcha.
But in a nutshell, basically, Jesse, if you want to come in to the Discord, I would much appreciate if you would come in, because I don't have the Clarity Act pulled up, but she's our fact checker for the show. Jesse, if you're here and you could, I'm not going to be having guests on the TikTok side of things today. It'll all be in the Discord. But I appreciate you sending that in. So, and make sure everybody's smashing that like button, subscribing to the channel, share the show with your friends. Stark says most people don't know what the Clarity Act consists of. Does he have a copy of it? That's one of the questions I'm going to ask him. Has he read it? Does he understand what it means? Like, those are the things we're going to be talking about today. Jesse, Revolution, if you are in the chat, if you could please come on, I would appreciate it. If you can, I understand. It would be, obviously, I'm asking you to donate your time to the cause here. By the way, can you guys hear the fan? I just turned the fan on. Is it annoying or are we good? Anyone? The fan annoying?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, cool. This room gets hot, man. It's all like super soundproofed and everything, and because of that, it's freezing cold, yet this room is warm because of all the equipment that's on. So perfect. So yeah, back to the Clarity Act. The issue is basically it gives companies 4 years. It's like 3 years and some odd time. It's about basically 4 years to where they can operate outside of the SEC under the CFTC. And as long as they meet certain criteria, then they can become, once they prove that they're decentralized and they prove that they're certain, attributes that they have to achieve, right, over this 4-year period. Once they achieve that, then they basically can be ruled as a legitimate company or whatever. See, I can't even begin to understand and explain all of this. This is why we have the experts come on here.
So what you're talking about is the 3-year limit. So literally at 2 years and 30 days, at any time, they can rug pull everybody and be like, you know what, didn't make it as a coin, sorry. And so the Clarity Act is more so to protect the inventors and the government,
and
it does not protect and the institution. It does not protect, however, the investor and the daily consumer. And so the problem with the Clarity Act is that it was not written for people, everyday people. It was written for institutions to protect their money. Now they have, again, 3 years to decide if it's real or not. And the government, they know what, oh, it's real, it's not. And at any point in those 3 years, they can take all your money.
Right. So it gives them less oversight for the 3-year period. Right now, as soon as they hit the market, they're under the SEC, right? So they're under strict guidelines. The CFTC has very loose and laxed guidelines. That's the difference here. Okay, so making the CFTC rule over crypto, as far as institutions go, they're in it and they can pretty much do whatever they want for that 3-year and 30-day period, which can be concerning to the investor, right? You want to get into a project early on, you could easily be rugged within that time frame. So the Boozman-Booker draft has language in it that not only gives that same leeway to the institutions to allow them to have the clarity of being able to know where they stand legally in owning and operating in crypto, but also it protects the investor as well and the consumer. So what I would like to see is a blend of the two together, and that's what is done in the Senate, right? So we need to educate the people that are, pushing for the Clarity Act, that like, hey, I'm down for the Clarity Act if they can add these little rewrites in it that are going to be good for us. Why do the institutions get all the good stuff and we get, the crumbs?
And it's to keep them protected, to help the market grow, but not have any legal backlash.
Right. So let's protect both. We are literally writing the framework for the future of finance. Let's get it right, guys. Don't rush something just to make your bags pump. Let's get this legislation right, and let's get the right things passed so that way we can have a strong foundation to build upon. Let's not give our power
especially in California, because California sets the tone for many other states. And if people can call their local congressmen and Senate, all of that, they all contribute to what's decided once the Senate gets a hold of the bill. And the Senate can make changes at any time. But if we can establish something here in California, make those phone calls, and show up at meetings and push it in the right direction.
And I believe California, aren't the votes, because it is a republic, right? So each state has like a certain number of representatives and senators based upon the amount of people that live there. And yes, California is one of the highest number of votes in the country. So
correct.
So being plugged in here with the people of California that are running the show, we are making a dent here. This is not just, small beans. This is big picture stuff. Jesse, do you mind taking over for a second? I'm gonna message our guest real quick.
Okay. No, I don't think people think the Clarity Act is what it actually is, as I think it's been portrayed as something that, it's going to solve all of crypto's problems, when it's really not. It can actually create further problems for investors, and I think people really need to understand that it does need to be fixed, and there needs to be some changes, because like with every, I guess, company, or take the pharmaceutical company, for example, they can't be criminally held, they can't be criminally charged, they can be civilly charged because they are protected. And we don't want to create another market where the big companies are protected, yet the investors and consumers are just left out. And that's just unfortunately how the markets here work, and a lot of other places. And if this is the future of money, then we need to come to an understanding that protects everybody.
Well, I think that's why we need to have more live streams and spaces, whatever we call them, just like this. I mean, I'm learning in real time just hearing you guys talk, and I'm not newbie to crypto whatsoever. You know, I guess I'm a veteran. 2017, you know, in crypto that's
Nice.
I got
50
1 year
years,
on you,
right?
brother. I got 1 year
Well,
on
in
you.
crypto that's 50 years, right? So, but this is something I really haven't paid attention to, and like you said, I've heard people mention briefly how it's gonna nothing that you guys said whatsoever, but they said something about our taxes and whatnot, and I don't know that this has anything to do with that whatsoever.
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with taxes. This is basically clarity for institutions how they can operate their businesses with crypto, right? That's really all the Clarity Act does. And what we want to do is we want to not only have clarity on for institutions, but also clarity for the consumer, for the investor, and protections for them as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why I don't like that they called it the Clarity Act, because it's not very clear unless you deep dive into it and you actually see what they're trying to say. And they're trying to be like, well, you can't, not exactly, but they want it so you can't legally go after these people, which is why they give you the 3-year cushion that at any time you can be like, you know what, this isn't going to work, and pull it. And that to me should be concerning to anybody, because 3 years is a long time. 3 years is a long time to, cast a net and pull something in, and then when you pull it in, you just let it all go, and that to me is very worrisome.
So TikTok seller says, so when is it being voted for in the Senate, or is it being worked on? Like, what's happening? Jesse, can you look into that real quick? I believe
it's still been sitting in the Senate. It has not been voted on. It has not been changed. It is just one of the many bills that are sitting there, unfortunately, because of the way that America is happening right now and all the weird stuff that's going on, and war and economic problems. It hasn't been a priority, and I don't think it will be until other people higher up get enough coins to rug before it's regulated.
It's my understanding that 2027 to 2029 is the predicted timeline for 2027 is when it is predicted to pass, and 2029 is when it's predicted to be implemented.
The problem with that is it's like GTA 6. How long have we been waiting for that damn game to come out, And it's one of those things, they're like, we'll deal with it next year. We'll deal with it next year. We'll deal with it next year. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. There's too many problems with it to pass on both sides. And so